Live? Bam. We're live. I got toe spacers. The Danielle Brandon toe spacers. I normally do the show with socks on. That's not true. About 50-50. But I'm gonna leave these in here so I remember to wear these. I'm gonna start wearing these during the show. I don't know what they're gonna do. They feel great. You guys ever seen these up close? This thing, this side over here goes. Oh, it's backwards. It goes over your big toe, and so this thing hangs over your big toe, and then this last one here wedges in your little toe. No, they don't sponsor me. They should. But these feel really good, and I'm curious to try them. I'm mostly barefoot anyway. I don't know. My kids love them. If I leave these out, my kids will put these on. I don't know if you're supposed to put these on kids because they're still growing and their shit's all malleable. Dude, Dakota Miller's put butt plug question mark, but I'm not familiar with that industry, but it seems like toe spacers could have a line of that butt plug spacer or something. Do deadlifts in them? Really? Excuse me. They're comfortable. I wore them, I don't know, one of the semifinals this weekend. Excuse me, I had them in for like 2 hours. They're totally comfortable. No, I don't have them upside down. What are you talking about? I watched a YouTube video on it. Oh, really? You think they go like this? You think it goes on like this and my toes go in here like this? No. There's no way. All right, I'll watch a video on it too then. I don't think so, though. I think it goes like this. I would show you. I would put them on my feet and show you, but I'm afraid one of you might throw up. I want to do that to you. Hey, I know this might sound totally double standard, which I guess I'm okay with. That's part of my shtick, right? The confused double standard of Sevan Matosian. I didn't like the in the chat, for those of you who watched the CrossFit. Oh, Jeff, what's up, dude? I'm really sorry you didn't get to see the you don't need those, Sevan. You have hobbit feet. Fair. It's a shame, Jeff, you didn't get to see me take the piss out of you yesterday. I showed it with 5,000 live viewers. I showed a video of you working out. It was probably one of our biggest live shows ever. You're famous. I didn't like the Brooke Wells and Noah Olson bashing in the comments. I really did not like that. To call her, like, people were calling her, and they don't, and I'm a little, the reason why it's kind of double standards, because I'm frustrated that in my own little way that Brooke and Noah won't come on the show. I mean, I don't really care, but it's like, it's one of the acts I play to be frustrated. And, they've done some things in the past, obviously, that frustrate me, but it's kind of their game day, and people are bashing them, and people are calling. I don't think the Noah bashing came from Sevanistas. Yeah, and even if it was, I'm not trying to control anyone. I'm just sharing with you how I feel. Like I all the time I've ever spent in person, mano a mano, with Brooke and Noah, and it's some substantial time at the games. They've been so fucking cool. Two of the coolest. Just stick the camera in their face and go, and take the piss out of them, make fun of them. There's a great scene between Brooke Wells and Travis Mayer and myself where we're making fun of how many Instagram followers Travis Mayer has. And Brooke just goes with it. Like, we even joke about, hey, she said, if you want some followers, you can take a picture with me. And it's fucking hilarious, and it's fun, and you can tell she's a good sport, and she's just cool. And for people to be calling her an Instagram athlete and just shit like that, I'm just like, come on, man. It's not even close to true. And I don't know. And the same with Noah, people calling him cringe and shit. Like, he really is. I see him as really being that nice. So to hate on a guy who just happens to be fucking nice as shit just seems a little overboard. No, his days on the show are over. I think he's I think he wants some space from it. And to be honest with you, as much as it frustrates me, is I don't blame anyone either. Like, you're trying to fucking you're trying to sell toe spacers, and I have zero tolerance for pedophilia, and yet you think that I shouldn't use toe spacers as an example. You're trying to sell iPhones, and I have no tolerance for pedophilia, but you're like, man, that's 1 million iPhones, like times $1,800 a pop. Let's say 1,000 for ease of use. So that's 3 more zeros on there. That's 10 million. That's 100. That's $1 billion. Like, sorry, I can't bash pedophiles. I get it. You don't. I get it. But I have different values, or I draw the line somewhere different. So, the truth is it's not Danny Spiegel that's the beacon of moral authority. It's me. It's Sevan. You only see what you are, right? Sevan, you're looking at the trolls that are bashing like that. There are clearly some areas they could be pointed out, but that's probably not the athlete's fault. It's more of the media. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but yeah, of course. So James Townsend on a flight back home. Keep me entertained, Sevan. Okay, I'll do my best. Blade Walker, pop quiz. Sevan, who raps the song Levels? Meek Mills. Why did I think that was Tyga? Didn't Tyga come to the games one year? By the way, he either stoned out of his mind or a dick or both. Because when he was there, it's always weird when there's, sometimes famous people, they're so fucking uptight. He was so uptight. He had this entourage with him, and he was so uptight. When Dave and I went to Rick Ross's house, he wasn't. I mean, it was at his house, and Garrett Fisher was there, and we were all hanging out and working out. But he was not uptight. Maybe it's because it was at his house. But man, Tiger was uptight. It did not look fun to be him. But shit, I thought he sung Levels. I had that all wrong yesterday on the show. No one even corrected me. It sucked. Blade obviously knew. Hi.
Good morning.
I was just being sensitive this morning.
About what?
I was just sensitive to the Noah bashing and Brooke Wells bashing in the comments.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. And everyone's like, it wasn't us. I mean, I'm not trying to control people, even if it is. Like, if you don't like Noah, but bash away. I'm just saying I didn't like it.
What were they bashing him on?
You know, Brooke like a Instagram athlete, or she's overrated. It's like, dude, she was number 5 at the games last year. And then people saying that Noah's cringe, and I just don't see it. Hey, there were people at HQ who used to say that about him too, who are now like butt buddies with him. And he did that thing. He came on the scene and he patted Spieler on the head one year at the games.
Spiely, yeah.
And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But some were bashing you, Sevi, but we sent them straight and ignored them. Yeah, but I'm a big boy. I deserve a little bashing. I am the most toxic man in CrossFit. I was also thinking about that the other day too. If you were I'm trying to think what are my issues, and if I would ever attack anyone regarding my issues specifically. Like, I'm really sensitive. Like, I don't say shit about people's kids, but I might and recently, the irony is recently I was caught saying something about someone's kids. I didn't say it by name, but the person whose kids I was referencing for their behavior heard the show and really fucking got bent out of shape. And I understood it, even though I didn't think I was in the wrong. I understood it completely, and I apologized like 1,000 times over. But I would never call someone out by name. But I'm trying to think. That girl clearly has mental issues that she's open about, right? That's part of her shtick. Her identity is I'm fucked up mentally, the Sporty Beth girl.
Right.
And yet she made a video that what if I would have killed myself? You know what I mean?
But you're forgetting the part that she's the morally correct and superior one.
But if you're right. But if your issue is that you're fucking mentally disturbed, it's like having Down syndrome and making your shtick making fun of people with Down syndrome. not for comedy's sake, but for like trying to hurt them. Like, what if you had Down syndrome and your whole shtick is to like abort all Down syndrome babies?
Jesus.
Except for me, of course. I mean, it seems it's like George Soros. He's a Jew, but as he went around gathering up the Jews as a young man, 14-year-old boy, and killing Jews. It's something seems off. It's like cannibalism, or shows some like serious lack of empathy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Lack of empathy, lack of self-awareness.
Like I like Colton because he's on my team. He's my people, and it's not that he's Armenian, and it's not that he has a giant hog, although he might.
Oh,
it's one other trait we have in common. Barry McCockiner, $4.99. Speaking of Travis Mayer, listening to the Training Think Tank show after the CrossFit Games, he went off on HQ, and Training Think Tank was the only training camp that didn't get a media pass. Oh, you mean at this event in the East? I don't know if that's true, but I like it. I don't think. No, that's not true. I was gonna say I don't think CrossFit's vindictive like that, but they are. Man, I did you see the text I sent JR and
genius. I thought that's a great
thank you.
idea. Yeah,
Oh,
I really liked it, especially because we got 2 more weeks coming up. So I think that's going to add like a ton of value for people going to the events.
Okay. Oh, Taylor says, okay.
They're into it.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think the timing matters that much if they're going to do it on Shut Up and Scribble, because then as long as they got their times to make, they're good to go.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. They want to do 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. I can't do that, but they can. Do you see the time they're asking for?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Up to you.
And we're open Wednesday. We have no one Wednesday night.
Well, we originally had the gentleman from Australia, but the subject matter.
His is a 49ers issue.
Correct. So we may want to, and he was totally cool about it. And he double checked in with us last night and was like, hey, what's up for this week? We had pushed it till now. Do we want to push it a little more?
Yeah, can we?
More, yeah, because I want you guys to be able to, as freely as you possibly can, have that conversation, because I think his story is really interesting. Are you putting on toe spacers?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Because it looks smaller than a sock.
It's larger than a butt plug. Okay. Hey, so it looks like Wednesday they're going to do a crazy pro tip show.
Yeah.
And it will be J.R. Howell and the bald guy, the thumb, Taylor Self. And they're going to come on here and basically take everything that they learned. And let me tell you, those guys both studied the shit out of the regionals, out of the semifinals this week.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're going to give you their pro tips on basically everything, whether you're a fan, where to sit, whether you're injured and you're an athlete and you should tell the staff or hide it. What are the cheats, the hacks? Should you know that thing that Luke Parker did where he flipped it before the event, he flipped his bag over the right way. He was the only one who did that. They're going to point out all that shit that you should do, when you should use your grips, when you shouldn't, how you should pace the bike event. It's going to be cool.
But I also like too how you gave it some spectator stuff, like which event would you sit where? Like,
yeah, all that. Yes,
it's like where, that type of stuff.
Should you wear event 3 is so fucking long. Should you wear Depends so you don't have to get up and go to the bathroom?
New sponsor, Depends 65 plus division.
Yes, it's true. I meant semis. Wow, Barry. Crazy. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll text Max after the show and see if that's what he got on that.
Did you see they were going live too at the end, just in the hotel room?
Someone did tell me that it looked like a porn set.
Yeah, definitely. It was super casual.
Tales from an average gay CrossFitter. Are you average? Are you an average CrossFitter or are you an average gay guy?
Like there's too many categories you're suggesting.
Yeah, what is average? Is average pointing at gay or CrossFitter? I think if people participate in high level sports, then bashing comes with the territory. Not saying it's right. Yeah, of course, I agree. Saying it's right, but that's my part of it. My 2 cents. You're totally right. You're fucking 100% right. You're right. If you're gonna, yeah, and on that level, you could even take it further, Mr. Gay, and be gay and average. You could say they should be thankful, right? You should be thankful that people are bashing. Although there's levels to it. There's levels to it. But if people don't like you, I guess on one level, and you're playing a professional sport, I guess that's on one level, that's really cool. I was on the wrong one. I just got your text. I was on the wrong background.
Yeah. There was a couple. I'll delete those other ones out of there. We got
or they're kind of cool, or just add California hormones to it.
That's what this one is. The other one you had, this was just that was me testing it out. And we got the Paper Street Coffee in the cup is the eraser today. I think that's
shit. I think I am putting these on upside down.
The eraser. Do we need a tutorial? Is there a
wait, what about Paper Street Coffee? Say that again.
Cody had asked which Paper Street I was drinking, and I said I'm drinking the eraser. I do a double shot of espresso with a little bit of hot water. And then I ran our banner ad to let them know they could go to paperstreetcoffee.com and use code Sevan on checkout for a discount. And it's paperstcoffee.com. Don't spell out street like my mom did and buy $75 worth of coffee from the wrong place. She was heartbroken. She was heartbroken.
No. I'm heartbroken.
Not only was she upset, but you're stealing from the boys' future. Okay. Yeah. Go to the right one. Are you okay over there?
I just put them on. I put them on differently. I put one on. Oh shit! I think someone is right. Oh my goodness! I think I.
Are you gonna give us a little view afterwards? Little feet, feet pick. Little feetsy for the people.
No. I was taking a nap yesterday. My boys came over and I can hear them in the room, and I have an eye pillow on, and I'm just laying in the sun that's coming in through the window and on the floor, and I hear them come in. And then I hear them they're walking around me, and I can't tell what they're going to do, but they're getting ready to fuck with me. And then I hear they start discussing my toe. I'm like barely awake. They're like, what happened to his toe? And I have one of my toenails is like completely, the bottom where it attaches to the toe is completely eaten off. And then like you can look in there and see that there's another nail growing underneath it. Oh, it's just fucked up. Damn. Yeah. I would show it to you guys, but someone would probably throw up.
And somebody would probably get off.
But can you, right. I saw Sevan's toe. Use code Sevan for 10% off. Well, thank you. Look at a videographer.
Where's Toe Spacer at? They need to become an official sponsor, I think.
Hiller's Therapist, 326 people watching and only 52 likes. Hey, did you see that thank you, Mr. Therapist. Did you see that Hiller called me last night at midnight his time?
Oh, dude, I was out last night. I don't know how you were awake still.
It was only 9 for me.
No, I know, but I fell asleep at like almost 5, and I woke back up at like 7:30. And I was like, I need to eat dinner and go back to bed.
I napped once yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was brutal getting up at 4:45.
Yeah, that's an early wake-up call.
Kenneth DeLapp. Sevan, I got a story that will make you upset. I had a dream my dog had shit in the house. Woke up and sure enough, shit in the house. But it wasn't my dog's. Oh, whose was it?
I'm glad you put some interest on that story there now.
Jan Clark.
Wow.
Careful with that photo, buddy. Careful with that one.
Wow.
Tomorrow is going to be someone in here called Sevan's toe.
Even if it takes that long, it'll probably be Sevan's toe in the next 5 minutes.
The thing I was saying about it's so funny. The thing I was saying about Emma Carey and thanking religious people, it's such an immature response from non-Christians like myself, or just like non-religious people like myself, to be upset when someone thanks God. It's so fucking immature. I need a better word than immature. It's so ignorant. It's so defensive. You're so missing out. Think of all the demographics you would want in the world if you had to just pick one to live with. And people will be like, well, there's tons of bad Christians and they killed these people and the church is full of pedophiles. Dude, I'm not suggesting that any one demographic is perfect. There's scumbags that hide in every group, in every corner. Everywhere you go, there's some gross person hanging out with that group. At every preschool, at every church.
Oh, that got dark.
at every FBI agency, it's just people. But dude, to have an 18-year-old girl or 19 or whatever the fuck she is, the 137-year-old girl be thanking God for keeping her on the straight and narrow so that she can perform and be a good role model for other kids. And you think and you want to write in the comments, no more God talk. It doesn't even fucking make sense to me. It doesn't even, it's so obvious it's your problem. Like, do you feel left out because Jesus hasn't saved you? Like, what are you doing? But I used to be like that.
What's the catalyst for it then?
I mean, I was just taught it, so I was on autopilot. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like being young, and the president would say, Ronald Reagan would say, "God bless the United States," and my dad would say, "Why not God bless the world?" You know, there was always it was always kind of like, and there was always this eye roll, or like there was a noticeable, if you mention the word God, or if someone said, you know, praise Jesus, there would be a noticeable like retraction from the family members I had. Like it's like, dude. It's okay. And now that I'm older, it's okay. Like, I get it. Thank God my neighbor's Christian. So when I told him, hey, my roof's leaking and it's raining, he comes over like a good Christian and fixed my fucking roof. Fine with me. I'm good with that.
Right. Like, what type of, would you rather have the inverse of that and be like, yeah, burn it down?
Yeah. I like the Christian school that does the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer in the beginning. And then my kid can figure out whether it's true or not when he gets older. I don't like the school that's like, okay, guys, we're starting class today. You have a choice whether to stand up or not, because I see the bigger picture is discipline. I don't. You have a choice to stand up or not, whether we say the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can, instead of using the word one nation under God, you can use one nation under Satan. And just so you know, after this, we're going to go around and everyone gets to pick their gender today. No, thank you.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That shit's real. I know there's some of you who think that shit's fringe. That shit's real. It's like, it's everywhere. Yeah, Christian is the opposite of far left lib. Maybe, but either way, we need more of it. And if you're like, just because you don't recognize it, if you're like me, don't hate it. It's just a massive dose of ignorance and defensiveness. Yeah, here we go. Dick Butter. The God people are going to the games, and the atheist chat losers are wasting time in YouTube chat. It's stop, relax, take a deep breath, be happy that those people have found something to ground them. Think of all the people who aren't grounded in the world.
What do you think they're using for their belief system if they're not grounding it in religion?
What do you think?
Modern day politics, rhetoric, and what, as they think, science. Like, how many people get up here and...
But they do have one. We agree they do have a God. And what's worse is they're in denial, right?
The vacuum always has to be filled. As humans, right? We're always kind of like looking for that like higher power, the reason of like, why are we here? And some people will just throw it off and say, hey, I only believe in science, which is already a terrible statement. Or some people will point that towards religion. Right.
I used to like saying the Pledge of Allegiance as a kid in class. I liked that part. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just liked it. I liked it that you got to stand.
Is there a negative to that? Do you think, Pledge Allegiance?
I'm sure someone could find one somewhere. I'm sure someone can find one somewhere, but
it's like old school beliefs came from the good book. New school beliefs come from your latest commercial.
Right. I don't, I guess it's a slippery slope. I wish that schools taught religion in some respect too. But you would end up getting some teachers who push it down the kid's throat, right?
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I do. Say that again.
You said literally and figuratively, kind of using religion as that guise.
Right. Like I think it's okay to read Genesis and Job and talk about it, but some teachers are going to start reading it to the class like it's real, and it can be read like it's not real, or it's not real. It can just be like, hey, here we're presenting this, right? But I don't know if you can trust the teachers to do that, or not teachers themselves, but just human beings in general. But it's funny that book is banned from public schools, right? I guess that's another problem too. If you don't understand how the human brain works, it's like, so basically the implication that you were saying is the same thing that I believe. It took me a while to come to this, but basically everyone has a room in their brain, and that room is your God. And you will fill that, whether you acknowledge that room as being your God or not, it will become your North Pole. So we know Emma Carey's is her North Pole. She has consciously filled it with this book called the Bible. And so she tries to stay true to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, other people have accidentally and unconsciously filled that with CNN. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. So now they have a God. They don't even know it's a God. They hate God, but they actually have a God, and it's fucking Don Lemon.
Yep. Yeah.
But first you have to have a modicum. You have to cultivate enough consciousness to step back and watch how your brain works.
I don't think,
but the people can't. Those people can't, and that's why it's okay to brainwash people until that they can wake up themselves. And so the shit you should brain them with should be for the greater good. I know that's a slippery slope, but the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to give that a pass, as brainwashing people for the greater good. And then at the end of the day, if you become enlightened, you can decide whether you want to. I clearly don't believe anywhere in reality this is the United States of America, right? But I'm willing to go along and play with it because I think it gives us enough structure so that I can put food on my table every night and then pursue my other beliefs, which may be, for all I know, being saved by Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sevan, do you have an American flag outside your house? No. And you know, the truth is, where I live, I don't know if that's safe.
People think you're probably joking or stretching on that comment.
Yeah. I don't know if that's safe. So,
it's gonna. Sorry, I was gonna say something else about the CNN thing.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's going to get even weirder if you're not kind of grounded in some sort of way to process and think about information, because the algorithm is just going to feed you so much shit that you're going to it's just going to manipulate your thoughts and it's going to influence you in ways that, unless you're able to kind of pull back from it and get some space and then kind of ground yourself in some sort of value system of making decisions, it's going to get real tough to decouple yourself from what the algorithm's influencing you and doing and what thoughts are your own.
Imagine this, right? There's that book, the Bible, going along that same thought that you're having, right? There's this book, the Bible, and the AI has it, and the AI knows or the AI. I don't know if even aware is the word, but because of the AI is sucking information off of human beings because of what it's seen that people attribute to this book, the Bible. It can easily now write its own Bible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it will be better than the original Bible that God wrote in terms of its ability to get people to believe in it. And then the only way to not get sucked up by it will be to not read it.
Yeah.
To put your phone down. Do you know what I mean? You won't be able to fight against it even though you think you can.
Mm-hmm.
It'll crack the code on brainwashing people. I know some of you religious people are not going to like that. But if you think God wrote the Bible, regardless of whoever you thought wrote the Bible, it's working. And whether it's real or not, it's working. We could all agree on all that shit. And so don't think that the AI won't crack the fucking code on that, the algorithm on how to manipulate humans. Caller, hi.
Good morning. How are you today? Good. How's my call quality? Terrible?
Oh, yeah, very bad. Hold on one second. Watch the Book of Eli was the premise of the movie. Oh, no shit. Okay. You know, it's crazy. So I saw that movie, 20 years ago, and I probably wasn't wise enough to get it. That's interesting. Okay. Hey, what's up, dude?
First of all, that's a really good book. And the ending is amazing.
I saw the movie. It's with Denzel. It's with Denzel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's with Denzel. Yeah.
Hey, have Denzel and Johnny Depp ever been in a movie together?
I don't know. I don't think so. Why?
They just need to. They're the kind of dudes, like anything they do, I'll watch. Johnny Depp has made so many shitty movies, and I still love him. I don't know why. And I feel that way about Denzel. Denzel hasn't really made that many. Only Training Day was the only shitty movie he made. And he won the Academy Award for it.
Movie Johnny Depp was in, it was like Zachariah or Malachi. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
it doesn't matter.
But I do like him a lot. And Denzel's dope. Wait, hold on. Caller, wait, someone's calling. You can't call while Logan's calling. Mr. Mars is calling. You don't call to go away.
Okay. I don't even think AI would have to write a new Bible. Have you ever heard like a Buddhist, for example, talk about how you can use Alice in Wonderland to explain Buddhism?
And no, but I believe it. Yeah, I think I've seen allegories like that. Yeah. Yeah,
like it's kind of like you can take the book and AI could, bastardize the meaning in however way they want, and you wouldn't even need a new book. I almost wonder if like people have to go Amish at some point.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. I think that too. Yes.
The Amish part.
Yeah, if you don't, eventually the AI will be so powerful in terms of what it's done to humanity. Following
no idea. It's going to be hard copy. Everything's got to be analog.
Yeah, that basically you're going to have to be a homesteader. Hey, dude, I already feel like that when I go out. It's just brainwashed fucking people everywhere. I live with zombies more and more. The more awareness I cultivate, the more I see it. It's a trip.
You should watch Book of Eli again. It's very good.
Just
do you understand it now or not?
No, I don't. I need to watch it again. I don't ever remember any movie. But just the fact, I know some of you, I've said this before, and this one doesn't resonate with the group, but just the fact that we walk by homeless people passed out on the street and we don't see what's going on, something's wrong with us.
It
is not normal. Those are our fellow humans.
Yeah, you're dehumanizing them.
Yeah.
You've dehumanized them at some point, because if you didn't dehumanize them, you'd have to be Mother Teresa. At some point, if you lived where you live, I imagine, I don't know how many homeless guys got your backyard, but if you lived where you live and you humanized everybody like you should, you'd never get anything done. Or perhaps
so there's a price you pay for that.
I think we all make compromises, what we say we believe, but we don't actually act it out.
Right.
Like people of faith, for example. I mean, like I think about my faith sometimes, and I'm like, okay, do I believe that those that I don't reach are at risk of damnation? Yeah. And then what am I doing? Am I out there every day making sure everybody knows? Honestly, no. Probably should be. But
the Tales, God, your name's so fucking long. Tales from an Average Gay CrossFitter, $1.99. That should cost you 99 cents just for every time I read that. Where is Hiller? I don't know, banging Alexis. It's only a guess. There was another comment in here. It's Jay Hartle. You live on an island, but it's not the island you think. I do live on an island, but I don't live on the island with the zombies. Come out and spend a day with me. Let me tell you, I'm living the dream. I have carved a path. I've carved a path.
Put an RV at Merton's house. That's all I got to say, bud.
Put in a what?
Put an RV at Merton's house.
Oh yeah. I'm good. It's good. Everything's good. I live in a dream world. Like I actually wanted to show you guys the park I was hanging out yesterday. I almost thought about making a video for my IG. I'm hanging out in this park. I'm surrounded by redwoods. There's 10 tennis courts. The only thing wrong with it is it's kind of cool. And they built like 4 pickleball courts. So it's like all the old people are away from us now. Like all the people over 40.
How many comments did you see on that? I'm sorry. I'm not curious. How many comments did you say you saw of people bashing it? Did she delete a bunch?
No, not a lot. Not a lot. No, it was on CrossFit's chat. It was like 4 or 5. But I'm just sensitive, dude. To tell you, the people who listen to this podcast own that chat. I've never been so fucking proud.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, our posse runs deep. Like anyone who works at CrossFit who saw that chat must be like, oh fuck, Houston, we have a problem. Like it was like just Sevan shit the whole fucking time. I'm almost embarrassed, to be honest. I'm having trouble like settling into how powerful this group is.
Have you ever noticed where like you'll talk about something and then all of a sudden CrossFit Maine will pick it up? Like let's say you hit on like a journal or something, a specific journal, and then because I think Talking Elite Fitness had this where they would hit certain journal they dissect different journal articles, and then all of a sudden CrossFit would pick it up and it's like really consistent. Like they wouldn't give anybody credit. So like they're like listening, but they're just kind of trying to steal some of the thunder.
No, I actually have not noticed that. But I'd like to.
Some people posting like ads for CrossFit from like 10 years ago, and then all of a sudden CrossFit reposts that same ad.
No, send me examples. I like that.
All right, sounds good. I will.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Sevon's still a content director for CF. Sometimes I do feel like I'm maybe I'm just a fucking egomaniac, but sometimes I do feel like I'm still running the entire show. I feel like I'm pulling all the strings for free. Yeah, it was crazy. Robbie Myers, the chat was cool, huge. And in response to Logan, I don't think that it wasn't a lot of people bashing on her. I'm just sensitive to it because I used to be that person. Caller, hi.
Hey, Sevan.
Hey.
I want to talk about the sled from the comment the other day with Brian and Young. So I think that sled is going to become a giant problem for the rest of the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Sorry, your connection's so bad. But you're saying you want to talk about the sled because you think it's going to be a giant problem for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Like, any better connection?
No, but it's okay. Go on. We'll make it short and sweet. Tell me, I'm tripping on the sled too. Let me just say this before we fuck the sled in the ass. I love this sled because it's only $115. I love it that you can mail fucking 100 of them in a fucking blunt roll. But other than that, I'm really confused by it.
So we use that sled for the Army fitness test, right? So I'm in charge. I was in charge of giving a test to about a unit of about 1,000 people for the past 2 years.
I watched some gag porn that sounded just like this morning. Crazy. Dude, our connection is so bad, brother.
All right. I'll try again in a second. I'm out in Germany, so I got to find a better connection area.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Good, and thank you for your service. And I mean it. That sounded like a fucking jet flew overhead.
Yeah, and you were like echoing in the background of his. I could hear you echoing clearer than I could hear him talking.
Oh shit! And we a clinical psychologist has said this isn't English. Well, maybe we were talking in tongues. Dude,
Oh.
I can't believe it. You made it in. Good job. You're a true gentleman. The way you were persistent and yet patient.
I am always patient.
Good job.
I'm the Tales of the Average CrossFitter, so I have plenty of things to say.
Okay. Action. You're up. Go ahead.
That's you.
Well, what's up, Sevan?
Hi.
This is Tales from the Average CrossFitter.
This is what? Tales of an Average Gay CrossFitter. Yes. Speak to me. Tell me. Wow,
Yes.
that is a long name. Are you an average gay guy or are you an average CrossFitter?
Both.
Okay. That's good.
That's why I made that. That way you could discern which one it is. But can we talk about
one quick thing? Does your gaydar go off around me? Do I
around you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. There's others I wish it would.
All right. I know. You know what? One of my college buddies told me, he's like, dude, if I was gay, you'd be the last dude on earth I'd be with. And that kind of hurt me. I'll never forget that. That kind of stuck.
Don't be hurt.
Hurt.
No, you don't give me. I mean, that bun though we could work on, so that's fine.
All right. Thank you. All right. Fine.
No, I mean, no shade. But I just wanted to talk about how Sydney beat Brooke. That's all. That was. I found that hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about this.
It's a worthy topic. It's a worthy topic.
It absolutely is. Well, how do you feel about it?
I'm more sympathetic towards Brooke than I thought I would be. It actually hurt me a little bit not to see her make it, right?
Yeah, you've been very sensitive this morning, which is kind of shocking.
Okay, thank you. And I'm blown away. I had no fucking idea Sydney Wells had the capacity to make the games. I thought, to be honest, when she entered this sphere, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I thought it was a complete fucking joke. I'm like, dude, let your sister have her thing. This shit is way too hard for you. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, that's what I thought.
And she proved that wrong. It's crazy, dude.
And she looks jacked. She looks amazing.
Yes.
So yeah,
well, I'd rather talk about why it looks like she's always about to start crying. Her facial expression is it's like it's a weird trauma
I will
expression.
give you that. Well, I mean, it works. You know,
right?
There's nothing wrong with a little drama.
I used to have this girlfriend, I swear to God, and every time she cried, I got aroused. It was only this one particular girl. And every time every time she cried, I had sex with her. Like, it just you know what I mean? Like,
for you.
Yeah, it was weird. Hey, what the you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. No,
look at her. She's like happy, but like, it's like her hamster died, but she got a new one. I don't know if you can see you know what I mean? It's like, Yeah,
but you know what? She killed her own sister in this. I mean, she killed it. So I'm all for it.
Huge ass like Brooke too, right? Crazy engine, crazy caboose, just fucking.
They're both beautiful.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at that, obviously, but that's fine.
Oh, it's the engine, dude. I think that's like 80% of our CrossFit shit comes from that giant caboose. If you got a giant caboose, I mean, like Hunter McIntyre, right? I mean, look at him.
Strong posterior chain.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Hey, so, can I ask you something personal?
Yes. Yes, please.
Did you how do you know you're gay, and how do you first know?
I always answer that question. How did you know you were straight, and when did you first know?
In kindergarten, I remember I had this teacher named Mrs. Allen, a redheaded lady, and I used to want her to come home and bathe me.
Yeah,
well, but I didn't think of it as sexually. But I knew that I wanted to do shit to impress her.
Yeah. Well, kind of for me, the opposite. I was in 7th grade. There was a gym teacher, and they was named like Matt something, Mr. Coach Matt or something. I was like, "You're what I want." And then here we are, still single, 25 years later. and
nothing traumatic happened to you as a kid.
No, nothing. I mean, nothing like that traumatic. I mean, we all have our stuff, but no. Yeah, I came out gay. I came out gay.
So you're made that way. It's not like, so there's this theory that sometimes that runs through my head that like, hey, something Uncle Buck got to you, and so therefore you're gay.
No, there's nope, nothing. Just came out of the womb gay. That's the only vagina I've ever seen or touched.
And I love that. And God, I have so many questions for you. I think I could convert straight men to being gay.
I do it all the time.
But I don't think you can convert gay men to being straight.
No.
Wow, isn't that a fucking trippy phenomenon? Explain that.
It is. It's a wonderful phenomenon for us. I don't know about the other way around. We don't mind it.
Why can't there be enough vag around you? Like, so I think you put 100 dudes left, you kill all the women and just leave dudes, and 30 days later, everyone's sucking each other's dicks. If there's 100 dudes,
at least 10 of them will do it, because it's supposedly 10% of the population.
I think it's 90 of them will do it. 10 will kill themselves, and 90 will do it.
I mean, if that's the case, then I'm coming to the games. I'm just going to have a sign. You know, if anybody needs to try it out or something, I'm available.
The kissing booth.
But why can't you be switched? Why can't I just surround you by 10 hot chicks? Why can't I just like rub your face in some vagina and you get a hard on and just be like, see, I proved it?
I mean, why? Ew, no. That would be a way. I mean, you could try, but I think we probably wouldn't end up doing that. We'd probably end up like talking about stuff, you know. I mean, that would be my world. So, you know, but yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, Sevan. I don't know. I don't know why it works that way, but I can tell you there's a lot more men that do it that don't say they do it.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot.
Okay. What about this theory? I think I think the big struggle with gay guys is that, like us, the straight guys, we have to jump through hoops to get vagina, right? Like crazy hoops, right? Like invent the light bulb, fucking lift 300 pounds. So complicated for you all. Yeah, we gotta do shit. We gotta, but I think that's important for the forward movement of humanity. Who dictate? Don't you guys need like some sort of ruler or like that kind of limits, so you guys just aren't sitting around in the 69 all day or jerking each other off, or like, don't you guys need some?
Well, believe it or not, we don't. I know that may come to a shocker to a
Well,
lot
it's
of people.
very,
who
it's,
actually have
it's
jobs.
very hard. It's very hard to imagine because straight guys are just like, that's their mission, right? If you're not addicted to fentanyl, you're trying to get pussy.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's the other way around. We just have grinders. So it makes it a lot easier. So we can just hop on an app and have it in 10 minutes.
But
So-
that means that's the problem. Don't you guys need someone who's like regulating, the way the U.S. government regulates alcohol or supposed to regulate the border? Don't you guys need someone like a woman regulating how much intimacy you guys are having with each other?
Probably, but I go the same with CrossFit. They need a little bit more regulated too. So yeah.
But you do see that importance for women though, right? That value to them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we have value. I mean, believe it or not, we're all not just like sleeping with each other like all day long. Like that's not the case. I mean, there's a lot more less monogamy, I would say, in our community. But I wouldn't say necessarily that like it's people's perception of what our actual community is really like. There is a lot of that, but there's also a lot of people who like are together and have monogamous, like healthy, like regulated type of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just having as a male with the penis, I'm having trouble understanding it, but that's maybe my own shortcoming. And then what about that theory to me? Because I think it's very prevalent in women. I think it's extremely prevalent in women that something happens to women at a young age, and it makes it so either they get confused, their compass gets confused.
I'm
they
a social
become
worker. And so it's a spectrum. I mean, nobody is just 100% anything. Okay, so if they're telling you that, they're lying. Everybody, it just matters how far people are on the spectrum. Like for me, could I be with a woman? Yes. Could I get hard for a woman? Probably. Would I enjoy it? No. So it is feasible. So it wouldn't like I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't.
I would love to put your face in a vagina because.
Could I pick what vagina though?
I just think that if you even like I could absolutely not want to have sex at all, zero interest, and if my face goes near a vagina, and I can not even want my face anywhere near a vagina, but if my face goes near the vagina, I get aroused. Yeah. And it's just a bizarre phenomenon.
It's not that bizarre. You're a human being. So, I mean, but the same doesn't go for like us. Like, I mean, maybe it would. I don't know. I haven't tested. I'm a gold star gay, so I've never seen or touched porn.
Oh my God. Someone get in touch with this guy and run the experiment in N of 1.
Well, Hill and I he interviewed me last week, so but I'll test it out. But can I pick one? Could it be like Danielle Brandon or something?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well,
although Danielle Brandon might have a penis.
Don't you come for Danielle. Don't you come for Danielle.
But here's the thing. I think that a lot of women, something happened to them. How many percentage of men do you think that are gay that something happened to them?
Dude, you're trying to fit it into a box.
Are you like my theory's complete hogwash?
No, I mean, well, out of all sexual offenders, and yes, that's what I studied in grad school. 79% of people who've been convicted of sexual crimes have been actually offended on by women. So actually, for when I'm applying for a PhD next semester, that's my theory that actually women are actually more dangerous than men when it comes to sexual offenders.
Hey, dude, I know some sexual offenders, and I put that word in quote, and all of them as young boys had incidents with older women. Holy shit.
That's my theory for my dissertation.
Shit. Wow.
Yep. So
and all of us guys are like, that sounds cool. Quit being a pussy.
Well, that's my whole thing is that the media perceives it in a different way, right? When it's a man on a younger female, they're child molester. Or when it's an older female, young man, it's almost glorified, romanticized in the media. So that's
But going back, how many do you think that? I guess it would be hard to distinguish. You could be gay and get molested, and then we don't, and so you were already gay. But how many guys do you think? What percentage of gay guys do you think weren't gay and something happened to them, and that changed their? I
would say it's very low because I would argue
like less than 50%.
I'll probably say less than 10%,
Wow,
if that's
okay.
even a thing. Yeah, because I do believe. I mean, from my own belief, I don't know what's going on in the comments because I'm in my office right now and I'm not reading the comments. But I believe I was born this way. A lot of people don't think that, but I believe I was born this way. So you can't really change somebody if they're already born that way, even if an event happens.
Well,
now if somebody claims that
we do know that we do though. We've agreed that you could change straight guys to gay.
Well, but they weren't necessarily all the way straight to begin with. Remember that spectrum we talked about.
Well,
there's a whole lot of people I get in my DMs late at night, from straight guys, quote unquote. Some CrossFit athletes as well, not like competitive ones. But
do they all want a Hummer, or do they want to blow you, or do they want you to blow them?
It varies. It varies. Not to say that I do this all the time, because I don't.
No, I understand.
I don't know. Why not? Sure. So that's why I'm needed in the CrossFit space, is to, help them, just in case you're wondering, I'm here for you.
Hey, why do you listen to this show? Do you think I do? Why do you listen to this show?
I've been following you because you used to do documentaries and you used to talk shit to people.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I like. I enjoy some of your content. Sometimes I'm a little bored by it, but this morning I was at work and I was like, boop, let me just put it on because you went live.
All right.
So, and I'm on the phone with you. Look at that.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, I'm going to go back to work so my boss doesn't kill me, but thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, we steered that quickly away from Sydney and Brooke. There's more interesting topics.
I knew you were going that way, trying to fit it into that box. You know what I was thinking about when he said, he was like, when did you know that you were attracted to women?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about the way I eat my hamburgers. I eat them like I'm a 5-year-old kid, like just cheese and ketchup. That's it. Still to this day. I never, and I've tried it with other stuff, but I'm just not a fan of it. It's just cheese and ketchup. I don't know if I'll ever change. I never consciously made the decision, and I don't think I had any trauma around produce in a hamburger. So maybe it falls underneath that spectrum too. Not totally discrediting your theory, but just maybe a lower percentage than you would originally think.
I want to say something about the vagina, but in a second. Caller, hi. Hello. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, it's Wayne from Australia. How are you?
Oh, good. Just discussing whose genitalia you want in your face. Typical morning.
I have no idea.
Oh,
actually,
you have no idea whose genitalia you want in your face?
Nah, it's been one of those days.
I knew it. That's what I'm saying. Us straight guys, anything can happen. How are you? Who is this? Is this Ricky Garrard?
It sounds like Ricky Garrard.
Yeah, Ricky, what's up, dude?
No.
Thanks for calling in. Oh, it's Jay Crouch. Jay Crouch.
I appreciate it.
Jay Crouch, what's up? Welcome to the show. We weren't scheduled for a podcast for another couple of weeks. What are you doing? You called in early.
It's definitely not Jay Crouch.
Oh, okay.
I was just calling up because I used to be an athlete, and a lot of my friends are professional athletes, and we had a conversation the other day after Noah Bryan pulled out, and we were kind of discussing it. No one was discussing it that when you're an elite athlete, pressure comes with that, and that's what makes athletes stand out. The best ones is that they can take the pressure. They use it to their ability. They use it to their strengths. And I found it really interesting that I think a lot of people didn't really speak about that. Like if you take someone like Tia or, Matt Fraser or Val Kilmer, those other people, or if you look at UFC fights, because that's what my profession was. I was a professional fighter.
Yeah, and there can't be any more pressure than that. Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than being when I was 17, I had my first MMA fight. There's nothing more nerve-wracking than walking into that ring and like, okay, it's on. But the thing is that I've known lots of really talented, incredibly talented people, more than myself, and they couldn't handle the pressure. They couldn't put themselves in the right mindset. And I thought that was I think that's a really big thing that we're seeing across the board. And I think social media plays a big part in that. I think the pressure plays a big part in that. But I also think that we've got to be honest on that. That's why true champions are the 1%ers. The people that can take that. Like if you,
Caller, I agree with you. That's why.
For instance,
I agree with you. That's why I also think like to say to say to a woman, hey, the only reason why you're the CrossFit champion this year is because Tia and Mal isn't here is kind of not true, because it was a weakness on Tia's part that she got a dollop of semen in her vagina, and then it was Mal's weakness that she couldn't perform under the pressure, and so that makes it so the other people are more qualified to win the. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's the same as anyone who wins the UFC title after the champion's left. Like, George St. Pierre would have beaten him. Who cares?
He pussed out. He's a pussy now. Yeah. I agree,
that's
and
right.
I love.
He's not doing this thing now.
Yeah, I agree. Here, let me propose.
He's not competing.
Right. Fuck him. He can't come on the show until he gets better.
But I think it's really interesting that we could look at some of the younger athletes that just competed, even though that.
Can I propose this to you though?
Let
me propose this to you real quick. I went to high school, and there were, my phone at my house was connected to the wall by a cord, right? I'm 51 years old. And so I went to high school, and and the social media there was analog, right? So I went to school, everyone judged everyone by the way they were dressed, unconsciously or consciously, where you sat at lunch, how good you did at football, what funny thing you said when you were kicked out, did you show up to class late, who your girlfriend is, who your boyfriend is. And so there was the same thing that's happening on social media, but it happened very slow throughout the day. And then when you went home, it was over unless you called someone. Yeah. And so we were able to, it was but it was still intense, dude. It was still intense. Now these motherfuckers.
It was more intense, I think, because it was face to face. Like,
I hadn't thought of that.
I grew up in that era too, right?
Okay. I
grew up in that era too, right? Like if someone didn't like what I wore, they told me face to face. They didn't tell me by a text message or post it on social media.
But can you imagine being 17 years old, laying in bed, looking at your phone, and the last thing you see at night is someone calling you a fucking bitch? I mean,
I know it's horrible.
I'm just like, dude.
Where are we going with this? It's like, where are we going? Like, I've got three kids, 19, 17, and 12.
Oh shit. Hey, Travis Bajan says this.
You know what I mean?
My buddy Travis said this, and I'm telling you, I believe it. Just looking at my own kids who are only 6 and 8, if you don't give your kid a cell phone till they're 15 and you put them in CrossFit, they're already at the 95-yard line. They have an advantage over all the other kids. And man, my kids are so different than the other kids who already have technology. My kids are homeschooled. They're country bumpkins.
You know what I'd like to see?
Yeah,
I'd like to see brain scans from kids. Like the activity of their brain, from the ones that are on the social media and stuff all the time to the ones who are not, who are outside doing things. You know what I mean? Like
my kids have like no social my kids have no social anxiety like all the kids who go to school and all the kids around them. Do you know what? You want to hear something fucking crazy? Some kid, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this. Some kid who's 7 years old in my kid's jiu-jitsu class, he's a wild kid. He misbehaves. He's wild. He's out of control. He's fucking nuts. I like the kid. He's cool. He's there every class. I appreciate his parents bringing him there every class. But the other day, my kids said, "Hey, that boy told us he drinks something called a bang." Do you know what a bang is? Do you guys have that in Australia?
No, I have no idea,
dude.
Well, explain to me what it is.
It's what you drink at 3 in the fucking. It's why Hiller is the way he is. Hiller drinks like 3 of those a day.
Oh, it's the caffeine drinks, right? With caffeine in them?
Dude, if you drink, it's like 3 in the morning, you drink one of those while you're driving and you're fucking gold. 300, yes, Kenneth DeLapp, 300 milligrams of caffeine. To give that to a kid is bonkers.
Well, that's actually banned in my house.
Oh, good.
We don't have caffeinated drinks in our house. We don't even, so it doesn't happen here.
Hey, what do you think about Mel? Do you have sympathy? Do you have sympathy for Mal?
Sympathy for who?
For Mal, do you have empathy or sympathy, or what are your thoughts about it?
No.
What would you say to her?
I wouldn't want anything to happen to her. I would want her to be healthy, and I want her to be happy within her life, and that would be for any athlete, for any person. But when you're competing at the ultimate, at the highest level, right? You have to stand up to the line. You have to get there. Your body has to be there 100%, and your mind has to be there 100%. And you have to be willing to do whatever you can do to be the champion, to win. That's what being a champion's about. You should forget about everybody else. You have to be ruthless.
Do you know about this? Have you ever seen the Boogeyman? Yeah. Have you ever seen the Boogeyman? Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Boogeyman? Have you ever had that? Yeah. She saw the Boogeyman. What? Right?
But I've seen the Boogeyman twice in my life. I was 37 and I had a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
and had a 16-hour operation.
Oh, fuck.
So I've seen the Boogeyman there once, and then I was in another thing, and I've seen the Boogeyman before. But you know what I mean? Like, I got into I had a professional fight, and I walked in the ring. It was the first time in my life I was ever scared. Like, my body was shaking. I was scared of a guy across the side of the ring to me.
What happened?
I couldn't run away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was stuck. I was stuck.
You fought him? You fought him?
Lots of people watching. Yeah, I fought him. Yeah, I dug deep. I fought. I lost. I got knocked out. But, you know, like, I stood there. I did it.
Did you settle down at any time during the fight?
No, I didn't actually. No, I look. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to be there. It was the first time in my life that I didn't want to compete, and it was scary. And because I knew the guy across the ring from me in that corner, he wanted to hurt me, and he wanted to hurt me bad. And I just had to suck it up. I just had to go, I made a commitment. I've got to do this. People are here to watch.
Hey, have you ever seen that? Been watching
to the side.
Have you ever been watching the UFC and you're like, oh shit, that guy doesn't want to be there? Like, you recognize that in someone?
Yeah, I can see it. You can see it in them. But you can see it in them. Like, but you can just see it in other athletes as well. That's what I love watching about, like, athletes. Like, if you look at the game, the CrossFit that over the weekend, you can see it in people there that they don't want to be there.
Fucking nuts.
And I think like I take my hat off to Mel. Like, she didn't want to be there, so she pulled out. She's gone and done something else. Well done. Like, that's brave. Like, that's a mature move. That's a big thing.
Ricardo Garcia, why are people who have no clue what it is to be at Mal's level giving opinions? Geez, been a while since I've logged on the chat, but this is annoying. I don't know if you're talking about people in the chat or not, but dude, this guy's telling us a story about how he had got into a fucking ring to fight a guy he didn't want to fight in front of a crowd. I can't think of anything worse than that, to be honest with you. Outside of fucking like going to Auschwitz.
I fought for Australia.
For your country.
Team when I was,
oh God.
Yeah, for my country when I was a kid, and they fought for Australia in kickboxing and MMA. So like, I don't know what that guy's talking about, but he's a dickhead.
And this dude was knocked out in that fight. I mean, give me a fucking break. Hey, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about Mal. It's not. It's okay to say anything. I don't think anyone's being disrespectful to Mal. I think we're talking about being champions.
Mal,
yeah.
But I think it's about being a champion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and part of being a champion is the mindset, being able to get yourself up to the line and do what you have to do. Now, some people choose to do that. Like, and a really good example of this is Tia. Like, you think, like, a lot of people give Tia shit, right? But you think about, and Sevan, you were the one person that made me. I don't know if you ever realized this, but you were the one person that said something about Tia in a documentary, and you said, I'll never forget it. These girls in this division made the biggest mistake by letting her win this time.
They made the biggest mistake. What?
You said the girls in the division have made the biggest mistake ever, letting Tia win for the first time.
Right.
they'll never ever see the gold medal ever again.
Right. She tasted it and that was it.
And you said that. And I think, like if you look at the pressure, she came back year after year after year with all that pressure and stood up to the line and did it. So did Matt Fraser, so did Rich. They all stood up to the line. You can have a look at the UFC for example, because that's my thing that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
Take an old fighter like Randy Couture. That guy stood up to the line and fought. He might not have been the most talented one, but he still got in there and he put everything on the line. And this is the thing, like if you're an athlete, you choose to put it on the line because there's a lot to risk, especially when everyone expects you to win. That's the biggest moment in an athlete's career, is when everyone expects you to win. When everyone expects you to win, that's the hardest moment to put it on the line.
Well, fuck. That was on Mal. That was on Mal. That was on Tia. That was on Matt. That was on Rich. Yeah, you're right. That was on George St. Pierre. That's on Michael Phelps. You're right.
Yeah, every athlete has that. Like even when your kids are doing jiu-jitsu, right? Like,
yeah,
you could be like I did jiu-jitsu for a long time. You could do jiu-jitsu, and then you could be in the training. You're in the training thing, and you got this guy that you train with, and he beats you every time on the mat. Every time, he's in the same weight division. And then you go to the competition, and you beat him every time in the competition, but not in training.
Yeah.
And what's the reason for that? It's mindset. Mindset is the reason for that, because when you show up to the competition, you're showing up with a different mindset. And that's what it comes down to.
Thank you. I appreciate you calling from Australia.
That's why professional sports, like in Australia, and Tia would be very familiar with this, and so would Jay Crouch as well, and Ali Turner. We have a very big thing here in relation to sports psychologists. And mostly sports psychologists work with us in relation to our mindset, in relation to, how do we approach the pressure? How do we deal with what we're about to deal with?
Maddie, don't forget Maddie Sturt. Don't forget Maddie Sturt.
Yeah, I really like Maddie Sturt.
Me too.
Anyway, I just wanted to call up and just say that was something that I just was in my mind, and
I appreciate it.
Conversation with a couple of friends that I were having, and I just wanted to share. Hopefully it was okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, you were fantastic. Makes me think I'm cool when you call. Okay, bye. He doubled down. It's like I took a deep breath, like to get rid of him, and he doubled down. He's like, "No, I'm not done."
He's leaving on his own fucking terms.
Yeah. He's like, "Fuck you! I'll come over there and punch your ass out." I could have tolerated even more of him, but the connection was so bad. I thought everything he was saying was insightful.
I thought so too, but yeah, the connection was a little rough.
Lee Pozarek, what homeschool program do you use, Sevan? My kids just do Kumon now, like religiously. And that $1.99 you gave, I will use to pay someone to train my kids every single day. So every single day, my kids will see it. God, I want to say at least 2, sometimes 4 professional trainers. And I'm standing there the whole fucking time. And, and 5, including me. I consider myself a professional trainer. Probably I should. And basically I use that money to spend locally. So whether it's tennis, I spend a shitload of money on tennis, on striking, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and skateboarding. And I've chosen these in piano, and I've chosen these teachers, and they learn so much from them. They learn so much from them. It's amazing how much you can learn. I mean, just imagine if all you did is talk to your kid about horses and you never sent them to school. They learned about the first horse that was that man ever rode. They learned about where horses came from originally, how they evolved into what they are. You learn about the biology of the horses, the physics of a running horse. I mean, just looking at a horse, you can get your kid a PhD in all the sciences, and teach them about empathy and care and love. And so I just feel like I've surrounded my kids with really great people. And that's how they're getting their education. But on top of that, they do Kumon every day. That's the math and reading and writing. So and that's where we're at. There is another program that if someone asked my wife, "Hey, what program are your kids doing?" My wife would tell them that. But my kids don't really have to do it, because every time that they take the test, they surpass out. They're all ahead of their shit. So. I'm just raising my kids. It's weird. I never thought I would I never thought I would have kids, let alone raise kids. And now I realize how many people aren't raising their kids. I'm raising my kids. I have a dog and I've never taken him for a walk, and she's 3 years old. I did not raise her. I am raising my kids. Tyler Watkins, that's a really good way of saying it. We raised horses, taught me more than school did. Yeah, I mean, you can learn about history. Abraham Lincoln's horse was this. It came from here. You learn about geography. The very first time that horses were attached to a chariot, the first time, what's the size of a horse's heart? The horse isn't like humans. It doesn't have a liver. It has a blah, blah, blah. I just made that up. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, you can learn everything by teaching your kid about horses, everything. They would surpass any kid in school, any fucking PhD at Stanford, if you just focused on horses from K through 12. I know, poor dog. I know. At least it's a good property, right? It's a good life. That dog, it's not bad.
Your dog? Oh yeah. They're living the fucking dream. Are you kidding?
All right.
Yeah.
There's they don't know about the 87 genders. They don't know really about punking other kids. They don't know about dick measuring contests. They don't know. In some ways, they're so fucking naive. It's crazy.
I was thinking about that last caller called in and was chatting about the stuff with Mal. And I was just thinking that, like, I would say very large percentage of the population actively avoid their whole entire lives the position that a lot of these champions or other competitors put themselves in.
Fuck yeah.
Like that stage, that vulnerability, like the work ethic that it takes to get you there, just with a very strong chance that you're going to fail and you're not going to make it. Like,
fuck yeah.
So many people can't relate to kind of what she's going through, or even people not even at her level, even multiple levels underneath it. Because think of how many people will say, oh, well, I can't even go to that gym because I'm too afraid to walk in the door. And like, nobody gives a fuck when you come through the affiliate. They're happy you're there. They're happy you're taking your fitness into your own personal responsibility and are going to like show you the way. And most people will avoid that situation their whole entire life. Most people will avoid a 50-foot foot race to the car. Like if we were just walking with a group of just average people, and I'm not talking CrossFit.
It would be too much pressure for them. They'd be embarrassed.
And they physically can't do it. And they can't tell you the last time they ran, right? So like, think about the type of, like, that's what a ton of people are like programmed with. And then we're asking these other competitors to like really elevate that to the next level. So it's no wonder why they have moments where they break and shit like that.
Matt C. Dick, it's 94 genders. Now you're a bigot. I understand.
You know what else I was thinking? The most important thing with like the homeschooling stuff that you were saying was really teaching your kids to deeply question everything that they're seeing and how it works and where it came from and why it is the way we are. Like that, the Socratic method of learning, where you're just constantly, you're never taught like, hey, this is a correct answer. You're taught to just ask better questions, because it's all about digging. It's not about saying, well, like, here's the date for this war, and well, that's it. Put that aside. It's like, well, why did the war start? What was it over? How is this a cycle of something? How did it end up in this year? So by probing and going deeper with your questioning, that's, I think, what a lot of is missed in public schools, because you're not allowed to question.
No,
you have to find the right answer and kind of do your thing and stay in your lane and follow that system, which produces a great bunch of system workers. I don't have to think. I just follow.
I remember in chemistry when we learned the uncertainty principle. And if I remember it right, it's basically electrons are moving at the speed of light. And so you can't know the speed and the direction they're moving at the same time. You can either only know the speed or the direction. And because that they're moving at the speed of light, I asked the teacher, I'm like, well, how do we know we exist? How does anyone ever seen them? And he told me no one has ever seen them. I don't know if that's true. That's what he told me. And I was like, so this is just an assumption that they exist because of shit they collide into and bump into? And he said, yeah. But then from there, millions of other assumptions are made. God, I read this fucking amazing book by this PhD who works on the CERN collider. It's a woman. What was the name of that book? I got to get the name of that book. But she basically said that physics has completely lost its way. That physics went woke like 5 years ago. That they're completely fucking off their rocker. That they've made some assertions and some assumptions that aren't true, that they can't prove, and then they're building a whole science on top of it. And because it's academic, and not industrial, it doesn't matter, right? Because it never has to be tested or make money. Caller, hi.
Yeah, just theory.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I mean, it's we're an hour and 14 minutes into the show. I don't feel like I've started the show. I just want to say one thing real quick, caller, before you go, about something Chris Beisterfeld said. My most talented players weren't competitive and avoided it. It's interesting because that's the whole thing with my kids. Because they're not in a dick measuring contest all day, because they're not in school, they aren't very competitive kids. And it's I mean, they slowly are becoming more competitive, but it's really just with me and each other. And it's made them incredible gentlemen. It's very interesting, but that is what the tennis coach said. He goes, man, I just wish once I could see your kid cheat. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but just once I'd like your kid to say a shot was in when it was really out. Your kid doesn't do that. He doesn't have that killer instinct. I was like, oh, I loved hearing that. Okay. Caller, hi.
Hey, Sevan. My name's David. I'm about 50 minutes north of Atlanta. Been listening to your show for a while. And
are you going to school me
a
about
question
electrons?
for-
I'm totally open to being schooled about electrons.
not today.
Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
My question was revolving around allopathic medicine and kids. So I'm about a 7-month-old now. About a year. I've been in CrossFit for a long time, so I always question things, always digging deeper into what is real science, right? What are we actually being taught? But around allopathic medicine, we decided not to vaccinate.
What's the word
right?
you're using? What heliopathic?
Allopathic. I think basically just is the how most doctors think,
Okay.
their thought process, right? So around vaccines and things like that. And I've been talking to a lot of doctors around the area, why are you digging deep and all that? Obviously, they get bonuses from
Yes.
their insurance companies and
Yes.
things like that. The more vaccines they pump out and all that. My question is how do we get not necessarily trying to change their minds, but how do we get more people into communities that are naturopathic thinking and things like that? I mean, is it really just trying to get groups involved in the communities? I wanted to ask Matt this last week, but it was towards the very end of this podcast. I didn't get to ask it to him. So I guess really it's just about community involvement, things like that, but I didn't know y'all's thoughts on that.
You didn't know what? Did we lose him?
I think
Hello?
so.
Nope, I'm here.
You didn't know what? What was the last sentence you said?
Oh, I said I didn't know what y'all's thoughts were on one. Obviously, the epidemic happening is that we're vaccinated. So I mean, to give you an idea, my daughter's 7 months old. She's 20 pounds. She's 27 inches long. She's so much bigger. We went to a 1-year-old birthday party, and she doesn't get sick. She's so much bigger than all the other kids. That's the thing that I'm questioning in my mind is what are we really doing to our children? And then 2, how do we get our communities to change?
How do you think how did you change? What made you go so fucking crazy Scientologist and fucking decide not to fucking inject your kid with drugs? What made you fucking change since everyone else is doing it? What made you a wackadoodle?
Well, really what made me change, well, one, my wife is, she's been an occupational therapist for years. So about 9 years now. And she worked with, special needs children, and how many parents have told her at all these consultations, it all changed whenever I gave my kid this vaccine or this vaccine at different ages. And, basically that autism effect and things like that. And so we just started digging into it at that point. Right. I mean, I used to teach a CrossFit kids class, for instance, and I had a little girl that, she had, what do you call it? Whenever they see words backwards, what's that called? It's not epilepsy. It's
Seizures?
No, it's whenever they see words backwards, you look at a word and we would see it
Dyslexic.
normally. And
Oh yeah. Good job. God, you need a podcast. That's how I do it too. I can't pull words and I just start describing them. I like that. Good job.
And so what I did was I had her start doing reverse lunges, everything the kids were seeing things correctly. I had her just do everything the opposite.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that I did, I just knew from what was taught in the level 1 and the kids class was hey, like the body's going to have the body brain effect, right? So I just reversed everything. And like 6 weeks later, her mom was like, my daughter's getting straight A's on all her spelling tests.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changed is this.
Yeah.
So what do you do? And like, I just walked her through it, pulled up a couple studies, but like that stuff isn't being taught
Right.
that you could fix this. Right. And so what changed it for me is like, one, that always the questioning of what is being taught in normal society. Right. And then two, the, just seeing how many families it has affected, right? We always talk about the specific person, but like one person being affected by a disorder or disease or something like that, has that prolonged effect generationally on the people around them. And so like, I was like, how can I, stop that from happening? And then obviously whenever we started to have kids ourselves, I was like, obviously, do I really want to do this or not? Like, what is it going to solve?
Hey, so here's the thing. Here's what I'm hearing. No one's going to give a shit until they have kids. And then what's crazy is then even those people who have kids, only 10% of them give a shit. The other 90% don't even give a shit about their kids. I mean, just think about this. We live in a society where half the society thinks it's okay to kill babies in the mother's womb. And they want to fucking do that. Yeah. And then, and they think it's, basically we're sacrificing children. Like we think the Incas were fucking savages because they threw kids into fucking, volcanoes. We have fucking women by the fucking, millions killing their babies so that they can go to law school. I mean, it's fucking nuts. And that's a metaphor, by the way. No one's to be like, look it up and be like, no, actually only 172,000 women went to law school. Shut the fuck up if you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, sorry, Manny Spiegel. It's called healthcare. And so basically what I'm hearing is you had kids and you gave a shit. And that is one of the byproducts. Don't have kids in case, because that could happen to you. You could start to give a shit and accidentally red pill yourself. So then you read some books and you looked at some math and numbers and you're like, wait a second, we inject 3 million kids every year with the 49ers and 200 of them die when previously 200 people hadn't died every year from the 49ers. And all of a sudden, right? I mean, so if you're trying to cure kids of dying of measles and the cure is killing more kids than measles, and you can just see those numbers and it only takes 15 minutes to do that fucking research, then all of a sudden you're like, you put the brakes on everything, right? You're like, wait a second. And so you've obviously seen some shit like that and you're like, something doesn't make sense. And so you started like, and then all of a sudden you're like, how come every single kid has ear infections? Well, that's really weird. And then all of a sudden you're like, Sevan's kids never have ear infections. I wonder why that is. And you start piecing the shit together and then you find more and more people. But I don't think we can convince, I hate to sound piggyback off my boy Greg Glassman, but we can't save anyone, but we can make lifeboats. Like people like me and you can talk. And as I'm sure as I know, it's all the weirdos. It's like the hardcore Christians, the Scientologists, the fucking Amish. Like there's no just like some regular normal fucking people who've like figured this out. It's always like people who are like my group of friends are weirdos, right? It's like fucking the Addams family. But it's always these, but it's because we've woken up and started seeing shit and we're just kind of different now. But we know it works. I mean, that's the part. And we're like scratching our heads being like, hey, dude, don't you see what I'm doing is working? Why are you going that route? We see them banging their heads in the wall. Like isn't it so obvious you don't give your kid a cell phone? Isn't it so obvious? Isn't it so? Oh, here we go. BIRTHFIT. There it is. That's the organization. Well, there it is. Right there. Oh, that was shit. God is listening. Did you see that? The answer just popped up on our screen. So if you need a community where you want to learn about this and be with like-minded people who put children first and mamas first and daddies first, it's really, And when I use those words very deliberately with attention, mother, father, child, you want a community that puts those people first. There it is. BIRTHFIT.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to look into that. I mean, one of the biggest statistics.
Tell him Sevan sent you. Use password Sevan. Sevan is a G, and I get 10% off or something.
That's gonna be all of them. Sevan is a G.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things that stood out to me was like so I was born in 1990, right? Like there were like 12 vaccines, and now there's like 72. It's like it's all a money grab. It's like whenever the nurse is like, you don't want to give my child this Hep B vaccine. You're like, well, no, like fun. I don't
Yeah,
live,
easy on
like,
the V
down
word.
the street.
Easy on the V word, caller.
You know,
You're making me real nervous. We get dinged for that. You got to be cool. Got to be cool. 49ers.
All right.
Yeah. We don't want to lose
All
our
right,
whole
49ers.
YouTube channel.
All right.
Your call's nice, but it's not that great.
Hey,
I guess
thank
my point's made. So, you know, I just wanted to, and then two, one, Matt, about around building a community that's around it, right? I didn't know if you have any ideas about that. And obviously you said BIRTHFIT, so maybe I can just dig into that.
Yeah, those are great
figure it
people
out.
over there, and there's varying degrees. Like they got like they got the full blown like, hey, like have the baby, leave the vaginal fluid on them for 2 months, like fucking we did. And by the way, no one ever taught me. It's like what you said. No one ever taught me that like you're not supposed to bathe your baby. You just know if you have your baby at home, you don't bathe your baby. You just so much shit just comes naturally. It's like what you were doing with, you had a dyslexic client and you're like, dude, something in you just told you, hey, do this with them. And it started unfucking them. It's just like those of us who do CrossFit and like have learned to eat better. When the study came out recently that ADHD, 70% of kids who change their diet, 70% of kids who have ADHD change their diet and remove sugar and it goes away. Those of us who are CrossFitters are like, duh. You know what I mean? Duh.
That was me as a kid. You know, I was diagnosed with and that's probably where it all started for me. Like I was diagnosed with ADD like way back in the day, and they're like, you know, put me on all these medications for it. Now, like going into 8th grade, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I'm morbidly obese. I was like 215 pounds, 5'3", and I was like completely depressed. And so I was like, I'm done taking medications. I just was like, Mom, Dad, I'm not taking them anymore. I'm just going to figure out ways to cope with my ADD, and took myself off. Went from 5'3", 215 to 5'9", 180, and within like 2.5 months of coming off of it. And
I'm cutting sugar out tomorrow. You think I could be 5'8"?
Yeah, dude, go after it.
Hey, I have to let you go. Thank you so much for the call, and keep me posted on your child, and make sure you check out BIRTHFIT.
Hey, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
I was getting nervous.
That's fine.
But I was letting him roll, but my palms was getting sweaty.
I was a little nervous this morning starting the show. Do you have the did you see I the notes changed? Oh my God, what the fuck is going on? We can't even start
It's a real life call-in show.
Oh. It's not really supposed to be a live call-in show. Caller, hi.
Hi.
Sorry, once Dean says I was getting bored. Lift something. You put some grippers in your hand. Okay, go ahead. Caller, hi.
Hi. I was wondering if we could revisit the weekend press conference and the Alexander Caron debacle.
I think Hiller made a whole video just fucking completely explaining that. Did he?
I think he did, but I haven't heard anybody talk about how CrossFit might have handled it differently, or sort of the lingering issues from the perspective of not making a clear objective rule and then being totally subjective. And they tell us that they want to be super inclusive for everybody, but then they're not being that. They did nothing to take the information that he was giving them. Hey, I'm hurt. I'm not sure if I can do this. Is there a work requirement? If CrossFit's infinitely scalable, why didn't they come up with something he could do if their reasoning for kicking him out was that he wasn't expending enough energy?
Whoa. I think you're conflating things though, right there with the infinitely scalable part, right? Because the games isn't infinitely scalable. Like they have a incontinent division and a one-arm division and a fucking tranny division.
But you can participate in the open, and your scaled score is below all the RX. So he's already taking a 0. He's qualified at a high level to be there at that event.
Right.
If CrossFit, if they're saying it's for everybody and they want to provide the best experience for the athletes and be super welcoming and all this stuff, he can't compete in that one event. He's going to get a 0-point sum. Why not let him take a 0, do something to give him the work that they're saying he didn't get, and then let him finish the competition and see where he ranks? Can he come back from a total deficit like that?
Hey, I think what you're saying is so fucking weird. I don't understand. But here, how about I meet you here? I don't think this subjective objective thing. I don't think that you need to make any, like, if you're going to have a minimum work requirement, have it. If not, don't, and let people game it. I have no issue with people gaming shit. at all.
Exactly.
At all.
So
like
if
you already have a
reasoning-
dumbass runner in the game. Like don't make another fucking mistake and not let the athletes be athletes.
Right. So if their reasoning is he didn't do enough work to expend energy, they should have set a work requirement. Since they didn't, and their reasoning was he didn't do enough work, it's an unfair advantage. Why didn't they do something to allow him to do work and continue competing? Since they didn't tell him what he had to do to stay in the competition.
God, you keep losing me when you go there because I don't want to make more exception. Like you're saying like, hey, then he should have had to ride the assault bike for 30 minutes in order to tax the system in order to go for. Why not just be like, he's already getting punished. He's going to get 0. Okay, fine. Let him move on.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. Second question would be in the press conference for Berg and Boz. 2019, we saw the at-large bid for Hunter McIntyre to get in, and then Ben Smith had an injury, couldn't compete in the semifinal or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
He gets the at-large bid to compete at the games.
I hated
Since
both
Greg's
of
no
those. I
longer
hated
there-
both of those.
Right. But since Greg's no longer here, who would be a person in CrossFit now that would make a decision to invite someone to the CrossFit Games outside of qualifications?
Before we go there, and I'll ask you to answer that question, let me say one more thing about the Corone thing. When the correspondent Caleb Beaver, that's his real name, from the Sevan Podcast, asked them why Corone was pulled out and the girls were not pulled out, I feel like we never got an answer. I feel like the closest we got was from Boz, that he said basically it was the condition in which they entered the event. And the only difference in the condition between the entered the event was the fact that Corone was in Foxtail were injured. Corgi Foxtail was injured and that the girls were just incapable. Well, so then are we saying that if the boys wouldn't have said, hey, I'm injured, they could have got moved on? And they could have just said, I'm incapable of doing it. And if that's it's just bullshit. I feel like we never got an answer. I agree. It's something is fucked up there. It's not right. I would be I'd be totally happy with like,
their feet to the fire.
Yeah, I would be totally happy if they're like, fuck that. We're not letting injured people compete. That's not what we're doing. I would be totally fine with that. But they didn't say that. And so I don't know. But so who do you think should get the invite? I think everyone's, I don't think anyone should get the invite, but who do you think?
But what constitutes an injury if Brooke Wells legitimately has an ankle injury but is able to continue?
Right.
He's just hurt.
I think you should just hide your injuries. Yeah, just don't. Yeah, you're right.
So that's what I mean.
Or even say, fuck you, it's our event, we'll decide. Like, I would even prefer that.
Well, but that's what they're saying. But also, how is that welcoming? So they're speaking out both sides of their mouth.
Or how are they trying to crown the fittest?
Right.
I don't care if there's cuts. Like this whole thing with athletes pay so much money to be there and then they get, I don't care about any of that stuff, to be honest. Like, fuck the athletes. I just want clarity. Like, I don't need them to be nice. I don't need them to be mean. I just need to know that if you step on this line, you're fucking out of bounds.
I agree. And I also think it's weird that it's the only sport where you don't get ejected from competition or disqualified by breaking the rules. And that's not governed by the officials on the field.
Give me an example of that. What do you mean? You could be kicked out. Like if you threw a punch at someone, you could get kicked out, I bet.
Right. So if you're a baseball player and the umpire throws you out, that's the umpire on the field throwing you out of the competition. It's at his discretion. You have to have broken a rule.
Right.
Right. None of the judges are able to throw anybody off the competition floor.
Oh.
That decision's made by someone off the field altogether. And so Boz is like that guy, but no, you're not being thrown out of a baseball game because you didn't swing at pitches. You didn't give your best effort.
Oh,
There's
right.
no rule that says like, oh, you're disqualified from competition because
see
you
what
didn't
you're
run to
saying.
first base fast enough.
David Weed, Don and Boz suck. Boz does not suck.
Boz does not suck.
And I don't think Don sucks either, but Boz definitely does not suck. I will defend Boz.
I don't think either of them suck.
Maybe a little bit. No, I'm joking. Okay, who do you think should get the invite? I don't think anyone should. I think it makes a mockery of our sport. I think we're too good for that, but go on. Who do you think?
Well, I don't necessarily disagree, but I asked the question of, since there's a precedent of previous multi-year games athletes being invited to a games while they were injured, I know Corone has not won the games. I'd have to look back to see if he was a national champ in Canada or anything like that to have a similar claim. But we don't know who at CrossFit would have the discretion to make that invite. That's the point of the question. It's not necessarily that I think Corone deserves to be invited at large.
But who could do that?
Who would even ask the question? Who would have that authority? Is it Don Fall? Is it Boz? Is that something that they're not doing? And is that written into the rule book?
That's interesting. Hey, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Do you find Alexander Corone attractive?
No.
Okay. Just checking out because I had a bunch of follow-up questions. If so, we'll stop right there then. Okay. So it's strictly hypothetical. It's not any bias you have towards Corone.
No, because what happens next weekend if I don't know, Event 5, Justin Medeiros rolls his ankle and plummets out of the standings? Totally hypothetical.
Has to be invited. Has to be invited.
So why don't they just impart the same type of rule like the Masters does in golf, where your champions are automatically invited back the next year? Like, I feel like the season would benefit from not putting these guys through, I don't know, what is it, February to August, that many months? Why don't we have big events that they can go to earlier in the year, try and earn more money and give us more to watch that's meaningful CrossFit? Like, I think it plays into that perspective as well. Like, the qualification process is still not perfect.
Thank you. Very good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother.
Yep. Thanks.
Bye. Wow. It's like a fucking real show.
You know what I did when I did it too? I would just let them ask their question and then just hang up and answer it.
Oh, I don't mind. I actually am. I enjoy all the calls. I feel bad for the people listening. Like they're like, come on. I feel the pressure. Jay-Z. Oh shit. Do I don't have numbers by these? Oh shit. I don't have numbers by all the ones on the bottom. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. There's none. If you want to just read that subtitle, I can pull it up.
It's okay. Let's start at the top. Let's start with Canada. 1. Oh my God. I think the show finally started. How are you on time? We're an hour and 36 in. Holy shit.
I got till 9.
Okay. Oh,
okay.
good.
Number 1 at the top.
We're going to cruise. No, we got more than 5 minutes. Hartle. Is Hartle a black guy? Dave, we just bring Dave back already. Jesus Christ.
Have you ever seen the Dave Ramsey show?
I do now all of a sudden. No, but I do all of a sudden appreciate Dave just telling people to shut up. I don't care. I like all the just shut the fuck up, fuck you, we'll do what we want stuff. Now all of a sudden seems so much better. Because what happens is this new regime wants to give like an inch. And as soon as you give an inch, everyone's an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like now I get it. Just be a fucking dick. Just slam people down.
Whoa.
Fuck this kind shit. I now see the true value of Dave.
That felt like ding coming through right there. That was different than your normal dings.
Whoever sent me this text, this better be the gay guy. Whoever this is, because this photo you sent me is crazy gay. It's nice.
Did you get a dick pic?
No, it's not a dick pic, but just this mustache it's just I can just tell. Like whoever sent me that text.
And that's what Dave was. He was that strong leader, and that's why oftentimes I think he got kind of looked at as like the villain or the bad guy, because he was just that force. Like when you had all this wave of like questions, or you should do this.
Yeah.
Dave was just the guy that was just like, boom, nope, we're doing it this way. And if you don't like it, go join another sport. Here we go.
You know what? And he didn't even care.
He can't care because
he didn't care.
You need somebody in there that's like, this is the path. This is what we're doing. These are the parameters. We're going to keep it as simple as possible, so we don't have all this gray area of what's happening. And then we're just going to hold tight to that, whether it's wrong or right. We're just going to, we've laid the boundaries, we laid the parameter, and we're just going to hold to it. And that's what Dave was. And I'm not saying that Boz isn't, we just don't know with the situation or the autonomy that they have, right? Like, is it supposed to be in conjunction with Berg and Boz, and like, how much do they do? Do they have to talk to somebody higher up if they're making these rules? So,
holy shit, call her high.
I'm going to say one thing, then hang up.
I love you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don Fall hasn't done shit since he's been there, and he's just like Eric Rosa.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Thank you.
Yeah, but at least he's a more well liked and seems like a cooler dude. Are you contemplating what he said as truth now? You just
I don't think that. I think Don Fall has just trippy leadership. I think he's stuck in tech world and like he's taken not micromanaging to a whole nother level. Like he doesn't understand what he's running yet. But I think he could be getting close. Jacob Kelly, imagine Berg just being like he really truly needs to go back to his military roots. You have to run CrossFit HQ like it's a fucking SEAL team. Or you have to. We those people will flourish there. They're all CrossFitters. Everyone just needs to be just fucking told what to do in the beat down and a clock set for them, and they'll get it done. And people flourish in that setting. He's gonna get it. He's gonna figure it out. Jacob Kelly, imagine Berg just being like, we eliminated Corone and left Sydney in. It is what it is. Fuck off.
It would be better than his answers.
Fuck, dude. I tell you what, I'd chub up a little.
Yeah. You're like that, dude. And that's an SAT.
Especially if he did it in a megaphone in a small room. So it's like uncomfortable.
Like in the press conference, it just batted everybody down. That's it. You made a great point though too. Like the decisions that Dave was making in his past career versus the decision at the CrossFit Games seems like a fucking joke. Like, oh, you got cut. I don't give a fuck. 10 of my buddies just got fucking blown up, and we had to go. It needs to
be like that.
And I had to make decisions in real time to leave those fucking guys there or to put this guy in front who's probably gonna die. And those decisions came on to me. So then when it comes down to, did you squat low enough? He's like, no, you didn't. Fuck you. We're moving on.
Good people flourish in that setting. Caller, hi.
All right, it's Eden. I'm gonna one critique about your coverage this weekend, which was phenomenal, by the way. When you're on the screen with people, you need to be to the left, because when I'm watching it on my TV, the chat covers your beautiful face. You guys have a good week.
Oh, good fucking advice. Okay, thank you.
Well
done. Thank you.
I wonder if that's the same person that commented that, and I did switch you because I did see somebody comment that and shoved you over to the left-hand side.
All right. No, it's on, Tom. There's just too many people calling, so I fucking kicked you to the curb. I'm sorry. Eaton. That was Eaton. Heidi, I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. After I saw what you did, nothing to deserve it, Heidi. I just want you to know. After the little bit I did on Jeff Birchfield yesterday or 2 days ago.
No, you didn't find a Heidi.
I haven't found a Heidi, but I'm dying to find a Heidi. If I really want to find like this, like, you know, Heidi in 20 years or something, or like an old lady Heidi or something, and just have her Instagram account be a regular on this show. Let's check in with Heidi of the future. Wouldn't that be a great bit? I'm dying to find a fucking Heidi. Look at yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
anything. Yeah. I'm dying to find a Heidi. As soon as I did the Jeff one, I'm like, God damn, I need a Heidi one. Tom, what's up, brother?
Hey, buddy. I got two things. Tell me about the Kumon that your kids do. How does it work?
You pay a shit. So Kumon was invented in the 1950s. It's by a Japanese guy in Japan. He wanted to. It was his own way. He was trying to crack the code on making his kids smarter, faster. And Kumon is basically CrossFit, but for English and math. Or for language and math. And so basically what you do is the kids sit down with some sheets of paper. They write what time they start and what time they finish every single day. And it starts so fucking basic with just like how to hold the pencil, all the way to diagramming sentences, all the way to calculus, right? So it's like there's sheets in the beginning. If you give it to your kid when they're 3, it's just draw a straight line. The kid's done. He just goes on his way, right? And so my kids wake up every single fucking morning. They have these backpacks that hang in the entryway of the house. They grab their backpack, they sit down at the kitchen table, and they do it. And they just do that every single morning. And it's like anywhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes of math and 10 minutes to 30 minutes of English. And it's fucking expensive. And then 2 days a week, they go to the Kumon Center and they sit with some fucking girl who's like somewhere between the age of 15 and 17 years old, who's dressed completely inappropriately. And my boys fucking completely lose their fucking mind. You know what I mean? And
that's awesome.
It's like some 16-year-old girl who just got a fucking set of tits and can't wait, just dying for the world to see them. And my kids sit down with them. I don't even go to the Kumon Center anymore. I have my wife go there. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. And my boys are like, sit there with them for 30 minutes and do a lesson. It's fucking crazy. And it's expensive as fuck. I want to say, I don't know. It's like $900 a month or something.
Oh, I need a registered button.
Yeah, I mean that's less than private school.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we were spending $7,000 a month on private school when I used to have a fucking job. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Yeah. And that's from a Montessori school where they have fucking people in there on fucking scholarships. So I'm fucking paying for some other fucking kid to go to school there who has fucking ADHD or who's in there because he has fits some fucking social demographic, woke demographic. Fuck you. Okay.
I know. It's a catch-22. So like in Indiana, we have a voucher program for if you're below a certain income threshold, you can take your public tax dollars away from the public school that's in your neighborhood and send your kid to the private school on a voucher, which I'm all for it. I think that's like, because that's going to give opportunity to a lot of people who wouldn't have opportunity to go to good schools. But it does kind of suck for the people who are paying 10, 12 grand a year, and then now their kids are going to school with these other kids.
Dude, I was going to spend over $1 million to go to send my kids to that school till college. Over $1 million. And it's just a typical it's just your typical fucking Santa Cruz Montessori school. Does Kumon have high school curriculum? Yeah, dude, it goes up to diagramming sentences and calculus. Yeah. It's nuts. And hey, there's some study that's like 99.999999 to infinity % of the kids who finish the Kumon program graduate from college. I mean, it's some sort of nutty shit like that.
But bro, if you would have spent $1 million, your boys would have a gender at the end of it.
Well, that's so true. It's worth it. That's so true. I laugh every time my kids get a belt in jiu-jitsu or like get a new trick. I snicker inside. You fucking idiots who are trying to let your kid choose their identity while my kids are earning one. I just snicker at it like you fucking ding dongs.
My boys out here, we're building our horse barn in our backyard. I told you about. Yeah, my father-in-law doing most of the work.
Yeah,
so good. My boys even out here pounding fence posts in and filling in cement in the holes and stuff, dude. You talk about earning your identity. I'm watching him go from a little boy to a young man. He's figuring like I can carry the tools. He's like, hey, my wife's like, hey, should he be driving the Gator like that? It's like a 4-wheeler with like the bed on it so he can carry tools. I go, hell yeah, he's fine. What's he gonna do?
How old is he? He's 8 years old whipping this. He's 8.
I
love it.
Yeah, dude, he's a boss. He's like, I wasn't doing half of this stuff at his age. I was inside on the video game. Stupid,
Me too. Hey, so your father-in-law is a man. You got a man for a father-in-law?
Dude, he owned his own construction company for 40 years.
Stud.
His skin is so like tarred because not tarred, but he's probably got skin cancers and stuff just because he's been outside in the sun every day for 40 years.
My neighbor's a contractor. He's twice the man I am. I'm embarrassed when my neighbor comes home and I'm out in my street pushing and pulling my sled. And he's like, hey, how you doing? And he's like unloading 4x8s off the back of his truck that I couldn't lift if I wanted to. Pathetic.
I know. This guy looks at me working out every day and he's like, what do you got to do that for?
Yeah,
but I mean,
the
sad thing is what's crazy, dude. What's crazy is those dudes will still be obese and get diabetes because of the garbage that they eat. The guy will burn twice as many calories a day as me and you and still get diabetes because of what they eat.
Amazing.
It's nuts. Hey, my other question. And by the way, I did a super chat on the live stream and you ignored my stuff the other day.
Hey, that's rare. How much was it?
I know. $5.15.
No, that was on purpose. Sorry. That was on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. What do we got to do to get you to do live streams during the events again, man? Those are like above and beyond a whole different level of experience.
You mean you want us to watch the shit and talk about it?
Yeah.
Dude, we will not. We will suck, better. Tom. No, are you kidding me? Because Sean and Chase have fucking Brian Friend running around being like, Sydney spit her gum out on the floor. So and so got a poop in his pants. They have someone there. We could never do it. I'd have to be listening to them while I'm talking and just stealing their shit.
It's we're there for some, I get what you're saying. And the shows that you guys did were amazing. The level was awesome.
How about Brian Spin, Tyler and Young? They're beasts.
Spin, dude.
Spin, yeah.
But the thing is, and I hear you and I know, you're not going to change for me, but what we're there for is a totally different thing. We're there to make dick and fart jokes with Taylor Self while we watch the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dude, it's like guys watching football. It's not like, Tom and Stoney and I just can't handle. I watch it.
You want to watch it and be like, holy shit! Did that cameraman just point down Fee Sagafi's shirt? Did we see nipple at the finish line? Man. And you're like, you're watching it by yourself, and you're like, did anyone else see that? And you just want to hear me say it, so that you're like, fuck, we did see it.
100%.
Okay, I understand.
Like, what the hell are you doing, man? And, it's you get it.
Yeah. Did you know what I'm referencing?
All right,
we almost saw Fisi nipple yesterday. Do you remember that?
No, but here's the reason why. Well, for one thing, we had a big weekend. We were doing church stuff all weekend. But
I already think Fisi
a
a 10, by the way. I think she's hot as shit. But like when I saw her like that and I was about to see her nipple, she went into like a 15. It's weird. It was so
tough
weird.
to commit to sitting there by yourself and watching it. If I'm with the group, it's cool. But it's tough to sit there and watch. I'll put it on my phone in the background and get in the comments. Dude, how about CrossFit Games official YouTube channel asking where's Trisha at? I thought that was hilarious.
Trisha's a rock star.
Hey, so those people, what do you think is going on over there? What do you think? Do you think that the people over there watch this podcast or watch this
100%.
feed, or do you think that they watch Hillary? Are they tripping? Because I don't think we're particularly nice to them. And
no, I think that's
being mild. There's people over there that I'm like truly disgusted by.
I think there's the higher ups, or the people that you're talking about, pushing back on it, but they're also scared of you. Like this is the CrossFit space, dude. They don't exist without us. Period. If all of us take our toys and go home and leave the affiliates and stop going to L1s, it's over. This is what's left of CrossFit.
Well, you guys fucking took over the chat. I was like I said, I was like borderline embarrassed. Like when too many people go into a restaurant, like you're with like the restaurant, there's 20 patrons there and you go with a crew of 40. You're just like, it's just like, oh fuck, we just took this place over.
We own this now.
Hey, did you know who was it? Chase shouted you out. Not by name. He goes, shout out to the other podcast who did a live podcast during the event, and thanks for those who came before us who gave us this idea.
I was embarrassed for Chase. I want to be honest with you. I was embarrassed for him a little bit. I was like, hey, you didn't need to do that, and like you can't do something like that half-heartedly. And by the way, I love Chase.
You should have just said your name, dude.
Or not say anything.
Fire him.
Or not say anything at all. Yeah, it's
fine. I don't need any credit for that either. It's not my technology. It's like I told Spin the other day, I said, hey, dude, you guys don't need me for this. And if you and Tyler and John wanted to do your own show, you don't have to come on my show. I would never be like, those fucking guys are competing with me or they took my idea. I would never care if Brian's Brian Friend started his own podcast. I'm totally fine. What I'm doing over here is just, I'll find more people. You know what I mean? Like this is.
And you're right. But at the same time for us, it's not the same thing. Like we'll pop into others, but they're never going to have 600 people, like at 1,000, 1,200 people watching a live. It's just not the same thing without you. And I mean,
every time Hiller goes live, he has more people than me. I'm aware of that. He usually gets over 350 people live.
Really?
I think so. But it's because he talks strictly about CrossFit. He's not gonna. He's not gonna be like. Did you know abortion is blah blah blah? What?
He also probably doesn't get nearly the level of donations that you do through the live stream, through the chat.
Yeah, save your money for mine, no matter where you go. That I am concerned about.
Yeah.
Don't spread your
money
around.
And the other thing I would say, the other thing for you, and I'll let you go there. Heidi's probably having an aneurysm with me on the phone right now.
Let me see what Heidi said, if she hates you yet.
No, they're digging you. Nothing's bad so far. You're good to go.
The other thing is during the live events is when you remember all the times you've really gotten money dumped, man. It was at the games during the live events with people running around with iPhones. And you start dumping hundreds of dollars at a time.
Dude, let me tell you, I would have loved Hiller to do that for me this weekend, but it's not the kind of thing I'm going to ask him to do. But fuck yeah. I mean, Hiller and Souza killed that at the games. Yeah, that was just hanging out by where the athletes enter and exit was nuts.
Well, it sounds like I'll probably be there with no kids and no wife. So whatever you need, dude. But hey, are they going to give you media passes? Having Beaver in there with a media credential was awesome.
Dude, Beaver's crazy. Some fucking kid from the fucking army shows up there with a fucking computer and asks the 3 best questions. Yeah, he was a beast.
Everybody else is like, what did you think of the hairstyles of the people here? And did you hear them applaud at the end of the press conference? What a bunch of idiots.
Oh, no, I did. I missed that. I would applaud.
The whole media group starts applauding at the end of the press conference. Like, what the hell is this?
I would applause for Boz. I got mad love for Boz, man. Mad love.
Well, he did a better job at skirting the answer than Berg did. That was horrible. But yeah, shout out to Beaver. He was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you boys go. I am looking into Kumon though. That's a decent price. I mean, it's a lot, but like we said, it's a fraction. We are seriously talking homeschool, and it's all because of you, brother. So
hey, look in your
in
your area for a public school system that will give you money to homeschool your kids.
Okay.
They have it.
I don't know if that would happen here.
Okay.
Maybe if it was a co-op of some kind.
They have that here.
But,
They have that here in Santa Cruz. So basically, you homeschool your kids, but you still get loot.
How are the liberals okay with that?
I don't know how they're okay with. I don't know. I don't know how they think at all. Period.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, man. Have a good one. Talk to you.
Bye.
Later.
Yeah.
Hey, this just got in right now. We found Heidi.
We found Heidi. Really? We did?
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Let me see. That is Heidi. That's Heidi in 37 years. Let me hear what grandma. Oh my goodness, and she's a grandma already. Heidi,
I've been asked, what is the worst thing about jiu-jitsu for you? And I said, well, I guess rolling around on the mat with sweaty men. And they said, well, what's the best thing about jiu-jitsu? And I said, well, that's easy. It's rolling around on the mat with sweaty men. I love the sweaty guys in my gym. I do.
Okay, send me that. That in the text messages. I'm gonna follow her. Wow. Hey, what if I could get her to come on for like 10 minutes, like once a week, and I could ask her if I could call her Heidi in the future. And it's just a full bit, and that lady plays along with it.
74. Grandma's 7.
She's 74.
Started jiu-jitsu at 69 years old.
Oh my God.
Yep. She's competed in a competition. She's a purple belt. Heidi in the future. That's really funny. Do you want to do the Chicago one before I have to
say that again? Sorry, I was looking at a text message.
Did you want to do the Chicago one before I have to leave, or do we just want to end it with zero reactions?
Wait. Sorry, one more time.
Canada. The clip was about to bring up about 15 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago. No clips at this point since I've already done.
Okay.
Just make it a full show of no clips, or do you want to get a couple of them in real quick?
Let's do. Yeah, we can do Canada. Here we go. Oh, this was in. Go ahead. This is good.
Play it. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Here we go.
This big insecurity about the difference between Canadians and Americans, always trying to prove that there's a difference between Canadians and Americans. We're more polite and we're nicer and well, whatever. The real difference between Canadians and Americans, and I'll tell you what it is, and nobody wants to say it, is because America was born through revolution. Canada was born through compliance. Because the same thing was happening in Canada as was happening in America at the time of the American Revolution, except that Americans didn't want to take it anymore. And they stood up to the greatest power the world has ever seen, the largest army the world has ever seen. And a bunch of farmers stood up with some muskets and said, no, we're not taking this anymore. We are going to form the greatest democracy the world's ever seen. And we're going to kick your. And what happened in Canada? We just rolled over and took it. And we begged the monarchy, hey, we'll pay your taxes. We'll do anything you want. Just please don't hurt us. In fact, not a lot of people know this, but Canada wasn't considered an independent nation and didn't separate independently from Britain until 1982. 1982. Now 1776. That's how far we took it. That's how long we capitulated and rolled over. It was 1982. And we still do it to this day. It's part of our culture, is to sit back and take everything we can from the government and believe
part of our culture.
And do whatever they tell us, because that is where we came from. That is our history. And that is the difference between America and Canada.
That was in response to kind of also what I added with the Emma Carey speech that I gave in one of those shows that we did. I want to play one more thing for you, and I don't mean to pile on Canada, although I don't care that I am. I want you to see this. This is Justin Trudeau. This is Justin Trudeau in September of 2010.
Registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada, we have a culture that has grown up with guns and that respects the need.
From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada. Effective immediately, it is no longer permitted to buy, sell, transport, import, or use military grade.
This guy went from not wanting people to have to register guns in Canada to not wanting anyone to own a gun.
Grade assault weapons in this country.
Registering your guns is just the first step towards.
What do you think happened to him? What the fuck do you think happened to him? LDY 2742 499. Thoughts on L1 coaches at least being able to do all the movements hard to teach what you haven't learned to do yourself. Can you translate? What's that mean?
Thoughts on L1 coaches at least being able to do all the movements hard to teach what you haven't learned. All the.
There must be a typo in there, an autocorrect or something.
Yeah, something. I'm confused by that.
Thoughts on L1 coaches at least being able to do all the movements hard so that they can teach.
Oh, I got it. Basically, it's saying like thoughts on L1s being able to do all the movements because it's hard to teach it if you don't know how to do it yourself.
What about the guy who's in a wheelchair who can't teach an air squat?
I think, yeah. I don't agree with that at all. I think that if you could see and you fundamentally understand the principles of the movements and you know the points of performance and you could tell the difference when it's correct and when it's not correct, that's basically all you need because you're kind of an outside perspective. Like, you could do the movement yourself, but you're not going to be able to have the same critical eye a coach would have on you. So as long as you know all your points of performance, you know what you're looking for, you know the principles and the mechanics, then I think that you could teach it effectively without having to do it like a muscle.
Listen to this comeback. This dude has no, I kind of admire this kind of thinking. Should you be a coach if you're in a wheelchair? Just like just go straight to the presupposition that I made. I made the presupposition that it's valid for someone. And right there is where someone woke would get offended, right?
Oh, about that question.
Even non-woke. That's where you get offended when someone questions your presupposition. This dude just fucked me up. Licks. He always is good. Is that a picture of the Pope there? What's his picture?
Yeah, that's a picture of the Pope.
This guy goes hard. I wonder what LIX stands for. Is that like Pope? Is that like what Pope we're on? Pope. Is that a Roman numeral for something? Is L one of the Roman numerals?
I don't know, dude. You put me on the spot. I don't know.
LIX.
But my answer to that question, should you be able to coach if you're in a wheelchair? Yes, you should.
Yeah, take that, motherfucker. The Last Great King. That's last LIX. St. Louis the Ninth. Oh, interesting. Send me. How do I learn about that?
Wikipedia.
Caller, hi.
Hey, Sevan. This is my first time calling in. I wanted to get in before Sousa got off.
Colton, we've had you on lots of times. What are you talking about?
Oh, you think I sound like Colton Mertens?
Kinda. You kinda do.
I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm not from Iowa or Nebraska or whatever.
No, I've never been good. That's all my accents are all jumbled up in my head. Forgive me.
Yeah, I'm working in your favorite city in the country right now. I'm working in Philadelphia.
You don't like Philly?
Philly's a shithole.
I've never been.
Hey, man.
I hope you're making lots of money. There. Don't leave your tools out, buddy. That shit'll get stolen.
Oh, dude, how did you know I have tools? I am actually a contractor. That's what made me call in.
Are you fucking kidding me? Listen, buddy, I know everything about you by that accent.
We've heard of that.
You're wearing a belt that should have been thrown away 5 years ago, but it's your belt, and no one's taking it from you.
No, that's not true. I wear a fancy, they're called arcade belts. They use them for skiing a lot. They're stretchy, so they're really nice to work in.
Oh, shit. You wear a stretchy belt. I would have never thought that. God, that's so feminine. Tell me the brand. I'm going to bust you up right now. I want to look it up.
Arcade belts.
Arcade.
It's like a skiing and snowboard brand.
A stretchy belt.
For being a snowboarder.
Oh, you snowboard? I don't know you at all. I thought I knew you. I'm fucking nobody.
Yeah, I'm an eclectic person. I'm kind of a hick, but I also snowboard and mountain bike and rock climb and do all the weird shit too.
Oh, that is a nice belt, actually.
National parks like collection badge on them too.
Yeah, look at you.
That's kind of cool. You can like.
Yeah, I don't know. I got the cheap one that was on. I got the cheap one that was on sale because
See,
it's covered in dirt. And
I would have never thought you had a recycling bin at your house, but I'm starting to think you do.
I do.
Yeah, all right.
I do.
All right.
So my question, the reason I was like really excited to call in for the first time, is the previous caller was talking about his construction worker stepfather not needing to work out, but then talking about fat people in construction. And I see a lot of the same thing. I mean, I work for myself, so it's just me and one other guy. But I've worked with tons of people who are super unhealthy, even though they have active jobs. And I used to belong to a gym, CrossFit gym, which I really enjoyed going to. But my personal experience was, and I was interested to see how Souza felt about this, or what he would have to say as like a gym owner and a coach who really wants people to stick to like the class programming and stuff. I've heard him speak about that. And my experience at my gym was that like if I had hard days at work, like exercise normally will make my body feel better if my body's beat up after work. And I felt like we did a lot, like we did tons of high volume squatting and like hinging, like whether it's cleans or deadlifts or whatever, that like even at lower weights, like if I do a ton of like hinging and picking up of objects at work during the day, for me that like my back can't handle that hinge volume without getting blown up for like the rest of the week. And it basically drove me out of doing CrossFit in the gym and into just doing it at my house by myself because I would speak to the owner and the other coaches there about it. And I would basically get like zero support to like basically I would get told to like, oh, well, I mean, if you have a problem with it, you can go off in the corner and like do your own thing. And that, you know, and for the money I was paying, like that kind of drove me out of the gym. I don't know if,
that's some good advice you're giving right there, by the way. That's some great fucking affiliate advice.
And I have a question, and this is what I would ask back.
Closer to the mic, I think, Souza, for some. Sorry.
I have the question I would have asked to you back if I was the owner of that gym would have said, what does a good answer to you look like? Like, what do you want to hear?
To me, I'm not looking. I'm looking for some advice, right? Because I went to school for exercise science, and then ultimately just stuck in the trades. And so like I have some like background knowledge, but I don't consider myself an expert coach in any way. And so like for me, like I was just looking for some way, like I don't know if maybe I didn't know if maybe my hinge pattern was wrong, if I'm like weak and deficient in certain areas, if it's just over fatigue that's like called, like, you know what I mean? Cause it's like I enjoy doing CrossFit and I like doing like really like fun CrossFit workouts and I like doing cleans and all that stuff. But I just felt like it was like I couldn't find a way to not blow up my back, especially after, because you know some days we'd have days where we're moving a bunch of doors or a bunch of windows or a bunch of heavy lumber, and your posterior chain's already somewhat fatigued, and then you come in and you have to do, you know, like we would have.
Hold on, let me stop it right there real quick. Let me stop it right there and get off in the weeds. So the reason why I asked you that question was to just kind of tune into what are you looking for, right? So right when I say you were like, I'm not sure if my hinge pattern is off. So then I would have said immediately like, hey, let's check that out. Next time you deadlift, I'm going to keep you low. We're going to cut the reps in half. We're going to see if that helps you with the residual. And then I would immediately go to, hey, because of the nature of your job, you want to do CrossFit long term. Like, what is your protocol look like? Like, are you stretching at night? Do you have an extra 15 minutes after each class that you could do some stretch for your hips and for your low back?
Or why not?
First,
Susan, I tell you, here's what I think he wants. He wants people to be like, oh, okay, we understand. You can still work out with the group. We're going to scale this for you here. And instead of having you do a hinge pattern, because we know you were bending down, picking up nails all day, we're going to have you do hangs. So when the other, you're going to hang for 20. He just wanted someone to fucking like scale it, either scale or modify it for him for his. It's just like if you knew that one of your clients was a wrestler, instead of having to maybe do burpees right before a match, you had him do something else that was really sports specific, or you know what I mean? It's like, is that what you wanted? You just wanted to look, hey, I'm paying fucking $150 a month. How about cater to help me out here? Help a brother out, not put me in the corner.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like that. Yeah, don't put me in the corner because I was going. I go to CrossFit like to be, to feel super healthy and strong, like for my job, right? Like I feel like because I still will do CrossFit at home. I still will lift weights at home. Like I'll do a lot of RDLs instead of regular deadlifts. Like I feel like RDLs really like don't impede my back as much as they do.
Crazy.
But they hit my
crazy.
But I still get like the hamstring and the glutes aspect, but it's not very good movement to sub in like a Metcon scenario. Like if you have like a ton of hang cleans, like or whatever, instead, like you're not going to do a bunch of RDLs, I guess, like wouldn't really make sense. But for me, that stuff makes me feel better and stronger to do my job or like all the other things that I enjoy doing. So that was my thing with that. It's like, I enjoy CrossFit. I wanted to improve my experience in the other things I do in my life, not impede my ability in the other things I do in my life.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of why I started with that question, because in that way, if you could tell us what like success after the workout looks like, feels like for you, what you feel like you're missing or how we can help, then we could start to plug in whatever is needed, whether it's looking at the movement, whether it's reducing the volume, whether it's, changing the time so you end a little sooner, whether it's changing the movement altogether, or whether it's helping you out with a little bit of a stretching and recovery after the workout that you do at the gym before you leave. So that's why I'm surprised they didn't.
Those are definitely. Yeah, and I think that I think it'd be interesting to see. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't meet a lot of people in the trades and in construction when I was in the gyms, when I was in like the 2 different CrossFit gyms that I've gone to. And I don't know if that's like because of the intensity of the workout sometimes don't cater to like how guys are feeling post work, or if it's just like the attitude and the laziness of guys who work in the trades sometimes. Like, they're just like that guy was saying, like they just want to eat like shit and drink beer after work. They don't want to like take care of themselves for real.
Right.
So.
Caller, thank you.
All right, well, that's pretty much what I got.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I Eaton Beaver, $10. I know you have to go. Do you have to go? Do you know what this, before you go, do you know what this is in reference to? He has to be 23, no injuries, and is one of the guys that everyone admires and hates. And when he's in his 40s, will rethink everything he thought in his 20s. Damn, I wish I knew what that was in reference to.
Reference to. That might be in reference like the coaching question of like, should you be able to do all the
I think this was before the question. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Suza.
Okay. You staying on?
Yeah, just for a few minutes. Yeah.
I always get jealous when I have to leave.
I understand. I don't blame you. Okay.
Adios. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Kenneth. All right. Great call. Good dude. But Suza has to leave. Yeah. Go take your L1. Yeah. Okay. I did have my plumber. I got him into CrossFit. Does someone have a plumber? A guy who did a lot of plumbing work at my house. I sent him to CrossFit. He works his ass off. I think he makes a shitload of money too. He got a bunch of trucks in the neighborhood, I see. During the call, I got a call from my bank, from one of my credit cards. And I'm kind of tripping. That means like it was like someone tried to use it or something. Like it was a security breach. I would kind of wish I would have answered it. The guy that L1. Oh, I see what you're saying. Should someone in a wheelchair if you can't do the movements, should you be able to get your L1? And you're saying he has to be 23 with no injuries and is one of the guys that everyone admires and hates. Oh, right. And when he's in his mid 40s, he'll rethink that. Oh, that's fair. The guy who's saying, should you not get your L1, be an L1 coach unless you can do all the movements? Yeah, that's fair. That's a great answer, Eden. That's a good postulate. Postulate? Hypothesis? Examination? What do you guys want to do? I kind of want to oh, you want to see something crazy? I'll show you something crazy. Okay, so the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue has a for 2023, one of them is a tranny named Kim Petras. And she calls herself, or he calls himself, however you want to do it, the throat goat. So this is the Sports Illustrated 2023, There's like 3 or 4 of them. Oh, yeah, you guys can see it. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Of these Sports Illustrated cover model people. And this is one of them, and it's a dude named Kim Petras. This used to be a boy, now it's a girl. And her listen to this song. This some of you probably want to like not be on when you hear this. Listen to this. I can take it all. Nothing big or small. Make it hit the wall. I'm the throat goat. I'm a throat goat. That's Kim Petras's song. That's the Sports Illustrated swimsuit. That's at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit 2023 party. He performed there. No gag reflex. No gag reflex. I just have to flex. I'm the throat goat. What's my name? What's my name? Fuck. Nuts. Come a long way, Sports Illustrated. I guess Martha Stewart is one of them this year too. The throat goat. Eaton, call back the bank, caller. It's spam, and let's have fun. No, I don't think so. I don't think that was spam. I get a lot of spam during the show, a lot of spam calls. I don't think that was spam for some reason. It was. I don't think so. All right. Then here's a piece on real women. If you're interested in real women, here's kind of on the other end of the spectrum. That was a fake woman. That was a man dressed as a woman talking about how good he throat goat. For those who don't know that. Everyone here knows what that means? Throat goat. Okay, then there's this dude.
Well, I'm not a misogynist, because a misogynist is someone that puts down women. I exalt women to their rightful role. Women are supposed to be women, not men. And every time somebody says that a woman is equal to a man and does what a man could do, and you're actually abusing and denigrating women. Women have a unique purpose, and they're special. They're fearfully and wonderfully made by God. I support women. So I'm not a misogynist. I don't put down. You're putting down women by saying women can be men. You're putting down women by saying transgenders can be women. No, they can never be women. Women are special, and no man can just convert and say I'm a woman today. You're putting down women by saying that. So you're actually anti-women. I'm pro-woman. I'm pro-mothers. I'm pro-wives, and I'm pro-women. First of all,
So there's the other side. There's dudes that become women who are who become the greatest in the world at fellatio. And then there's just dudes who just got another take on women. So and there's probably some shit in the middle. You guys are gonna like this too. This one's great. You guys are gonna love this. I really wish this clip was like 40 minutes long and we could just watch like 100 of these. These would be so good. We could do 100 of these. Manny Spiegel, Sevi, a throat goat will let you shove your cock down their windpipe. I understand. Oh, future Heidi. What does throat goat mean? Seriously. Oh, Jesus criminy. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, I do want to talk about it, but over a beer, not on the podcast. Throat goat means you're like the world's greatest at chugging cock. That like you're just a crazy cock handler, and it's your especially with your mouth, exclusively with your mouth, not exclusively. You must use your mouth in order to be the throat goat. I don't think you could jerk someone off. That wasn't gonna slide, huh? Oh my goodness. Poor Heidi. I'm just so excited. I can't wait to see that lady's account and like do a bit with Heidi every show. It's gonna be at least once a week. I knew you'd give in and say it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So this is pretty good. This is. Do you think Trump is a racist? This is. Here we go. Someone should make 100 of these. This should be a whole series. Maybe it is.
Do you think Trump is a racist?
He said some racist. He's done some racist things. He probably is racist.
Yeah, because people don't believe it. I tell them like Trump is a racist, and they don't believe it. So like this is one of the things he said before the election. He says you cannot go to a 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
You can't be like saying racist like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're like a presidential candidate and you're like on like a national broadcast, you can't be like saying racist like that.
Yeah. So they got to be professional is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if you say you have to have an Indian accent to go into a 7-Eleven, you're not supposed to be president. Let's get that clear. You're a racist. So
right.
Gotcha, bitch. Do you think
First of all, I don't even know how that's so much of this doesn't even make sense to me, but I still like it. Black people voting for Democrats. I haven't seen this. I haven't gone to this account before. Black people voting for Democrats is like slaves hoping their overseers protect them from slavers, whips, and chains. Yeah. That's that is accurate. Black people voting for Democrats is like slaves hoping their overseers protect them. They're not even trying to hide that. I mean, that's what they said. That was the whole shtick. That was the whole shtick, that the North were bad guys because if we set the slaves free, they would die. Let's see this. Let's see. Is it odd that Mike Pence is literally the only person in Trump's orbit that the FBI hasn't investigated? Why is that? Wow.
Nigga ho, nigga bitch, nigga snitch, nigga ho, nigga bitch, nigga ho, nigga bitch.
Wow. I never even thought of that. Okay, that's enough conspiracy theory for me for today. Never even thought of that. That's not really, my brain doesn't even work like that. Oh. This one's great. This is great. I bring this to you so that you understand, so that we understand discernment and trusting your own perspective. Discernment and trusting your own judgment, your own eyes, your own ears, your own experiences. Trust your own experiences. Does it make sense to you to force an injection on the entire U.S. military from potentially a sickness that came from what supposedly our biggest enemy? Like, something's not right, right? Like, you're like, hold on, put the brakes on that. Let's sit down. Let's chill for a second and see what happens. Especially for a sickness that doesn't kill men between the ages of 0 and 25. Which is what predominantly our military is full of. Why? So I'm just using that as an example. Why would you do that? Why would you inject all of these men who have no chance of dying from something that possibly could have came from our enemy? It's just in no way in hell does it make sense. You don't have to make an opinion or anything, but you got to just like hit the brakes. Are you telling me I should get off? I'm done. Sevan, your breakfast is getting cold on the countertop. And holy shit, that's crazy that you said that, because it probably is. But my feelings are hurt. Okay, this is so great. This is Seattle, people. This is Seattle. They're trying to convince people that it's okay that someone smokes fentanyl, heroin, weed on a public bus. They're trying to make it okay to fucking smoke drugs on a public bus. Imagine sitting there with your child on the bus, but how is anyone a Democrat? How the fuck is anyone a Democrat? Here we go.
Numbers show there were 1,885 reports of drug use on buses in 2022. 52 bus operators reported being exposed to smoke from drugs, and 16 bus drivers filed for workman's comp due to chemical exposure.
This isn't secondhand smoke. This is smoke being lit on aluminum foil that's coming directly into the air that us bus drivers are breathing. You know, and it makes me really, really sick.
Amazingly, some King County health officials seem to suggest it isn't a problem at all.
We're not seeing folks developing secondhand exposure from touching, this is just.
She's defending smoking drugs on the bus in Seattle.
It's not happening.
In a Metro Transit.
There at that point, you just got to put on the brakes with everything. Something's not right here, right? Like you just know something's not right. Like, wait a second, she's defending smoking drugs on a bus.
Meeting last year, Thea Oliphant Wells from King County Public Health said there's no data to suggest fentanyl smoke is a hazard to riders or drivers.
There's no data that shows that smoking fentanyl on the bus is a hazard to riders or drivers. There's no data.
And in fact, she said smoking in public is safer for the fentanyl user.
We want people.
It's safer for the fentanyl user to smoke on the bus. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
To be using in a place where if they overdose, they can be discovered.
According to the health department's website, there's no real risk for the everyday person being exposed to secondhand opioid smoke. For a week, we've asked to speak with the health department, but they declined an interview, despite their claims that media gets it wrong when covering fentanyl dangers.
We have so much false reporting around fentanyl. There's a lot of misinformation that's out there.
So I just tell you this. Do you think that so when you're weighing whether you should vote Democrat or Republican, remember, like you don't have to like the Republicans. When you want to live next door to a Christian or someone who like cringes at the word Christianity, you don't have to like Christians. You just have to be like, what's going to make society better? What's going to make it safer for me to walk to the store, for my kids to ride the bus, for me to be able to like stay out late night in the park? Is it these fucking people? Or this bitch? This is nuts. I can't even believe this is real again.
It's for the drug users. They're looked out for first.
Metro numbers show
they're looked out for first. Go build us another fucking George Floyd memorial. Why don't you? Imagine being melanated and that like being a huge part of your identity. Like not only are you black, but you're like, yeah, I'm a black man or I'm a black woman, and like you're so fucking proud of it. Like I'm an Armenian man and I'm so proud of it. And oh yeah, I'm so proud, and that's cool. I get it. You know, part of me, I have a little bit of that in me. I'm so proud to be Armenian. I'm so proud to be black, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the poster child for your group is George Floyd, or Michael Brown, or Breonna Taylor. Holy fuck, I would be so fucking pissed. I would be so pissed. Didn't we already establish we got fucking Denzel? Thomas Sowell? I'm so glad I'm so glad that lady in Seattle isn't parading around as a fucking typical white person or an Armenian, short Armenian guy. What a fucking mess. Trust your own discernment, people. Just trust yourself. Like, as soon as someone, like, don't be like, well, the data shows that it's perfectly okay to smoke fentanyl on the bus. No, thank you. Jay-Z got a $200 million house. Did you guys see that? Most expensive house ever sold in the United States. 200. Oh, you know what's crazy? Jay-Z. Oh shit. These two stories got mixed up together. I have there's a guy named Ja Morant. Do you guys know who that is? NBA star. Signed a $200 million contract. And he's been flashing a gun. This is like his third time he's flashed a gun at a strip club. Crazy. Anyway, I got my two stories mixed up because of $200 million. Oh, you guys are sending me text messages. Oh, the prosecutor for George Floyd just wrote a book. I wonder if that's worth reading. What happened to the guy? What was the guy's name who was accused of killing him? Convicted of killing him? What happened to him? I got my notes all fucked up here. You guys all know the difference between jelly and jam? I'm not doing this one either. Never mind. I know you guys know that one. All right, I'm done. My breakfast is waiting for me. Number 10, being a parent. I got all my notes here. I got spoiled because Sousa was here. Oh, here it is. God, let's finish with this. This is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. Here we go. This is fun. This is fun. Here we go. He says, don't push your kids.
Push kids to do anything. Pushing means you're standing behind him, pushing him forward. Don't push. Pull. Pulling means I'm going, come with me. So you have to create a lifestyle that children find irresistible, a lifestyle that they want to follow and want to run to keep up with you. Don't push. Don't push kids to do anything. Pushing means you're standing behind him, pushing him forward. Don't push. Pull. Pulling means I'm going, come with me. So you have to create a lifestyle that children find irresistible.
Create a lifestyle that children find irresistible. It's fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. And to do that, you have to raise your kids, by the way. You have to actually raise your kids. The political prisoner Derek Chauvin serving time, appealing to conviction. Yeah, that's the way I see him. Buster Hyman. Eventually, Chauvin will get overturned, and hell on earth will break out. Yeah, I think it'll get overturned too. Also. All right. Thanks, guys. Great show. It does look like we picked up probably over 100 live viewers throughout the show, maybe 200 today after that storm of semifinals talk. Boy, this really felt like a CrossFit show. For the longest time, I was trying to fight making this a CrossFit show or not. Maybe I should just fucking accept it. This is a CrossFit podcast. I don't know. Maybe it's good that I fight it. That tension is good. Jody, hi. No, I got to go. I'm doing a show tonight with Ty Emery. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. She's a fighter, a professional fight league fighter, PFL. It's going to be a great show. Lean in. I don't know. I know. That's good advice, Pedro. Yeah, you guys killed it. Jessica Valenzuela, us Sevanistas, we're promoting you on the scene. I know. Absolutely. I can't thank you guys enough. It was great. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day. Party hard. Walk barefoot. Be in the sun. Turn down eating something bad, and do something nice for someone. I actually meant to. That's one of the things I wanted to be a theme for people to call in. If there's nice things that you're doing for people, I always like to hear the stories or like incidents you had where you did something nice for someone, picked up a stranger, helped someone at the counter buying something when they didn't have enough cash. All that stuff that just makes people get a little faith in humanity. Fix your neighbor's car, change someone's tire, all that shit. I love those stories. And so do that. Be cool. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see, be the example you want to see in the world. Remember that. Hold that tight to your chest. Eat pizza and do drugs. No, not eat pizza.